touching the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, we don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah, welcome back to the show, everybody. Yeah, from high atop the two Dum Yinzers Towers here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 927 of the two Dum Yinzers. I want to say, everybody, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Michael, how you be?
I am well rested and ready to go.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that. Mike, it was a big weekend, if you will. Mike, we had the Ides of March yesterday. Of course, you had to
Yes.
beware the Ides of March. And then Saturday, of course, was Steak and Blowjob Day. Steak and Blowjob Day. Last week, also Mario Day. Once you hit March, there's a lot of things going on, Mike. And then there was even Pie Day, of
Yes.
course, 3-1-4, which is coincidentally Steak and BJ Day, Mike. And the days don't stop because tomorrow is St. Patty's Day.
Yes.
March is usually pretty happening. It's no different this year, Mike. But I do have a question before we do get started about St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
You know, I'm 47 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to be honest with you. I never once thought about this until yesterday. What does the leprechaun do now? Because the leprechaun doesn't grant wishes, apparently.
No.
See, all this time I was under the impression that the leprechauns granted wishes, but they don't grant wishes.
No.
Do you know what they do?
They have a pot of gold.
Well, yeah.
That's it. That's all I know.
They are assholes. Leprechauns are little assholes that they're tricksters, apparently. And I got to be honest with you, Mike. All this time I could have swore that they granted wishes, but they don't. They're little assholes. That is what a leprechaun is. They're just a little asshole that they they trick you and play tricks on you. And again,
that's interesting. I did not know that.
Neither did I. I thought they would take you to the other side of the rainbow with the pot of gold, but apparently that isn't the way this whole thing plays out, Mike. They're little tricksters, and they would rather dupe you than take you to the gold.
I can respect that. I respect the hustle. I respect being a little asshole. They would fit a leprechaun would fit right in on this show.
a leprechaun would fit on this show. As a matter of fact, we do have a leprechaun here, Mike, and he happens to be a Browns fan, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
we're gonna treat him accordingly tomorrow. So you don't worry about him just yet, Mike. A whole lot coming this week as it is the official countdown start to the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Mike, in just 38 days. That's right, 38 days. The NFL draft is going to be right here in town. It's going to be big. It's going to be massive. Matter of fact, they're saying up to over 750,000 people expected down on the North Shore and at the Point all at one time. So it is going to be crazy, Mike. A lot of things going on. One other thing I do want to say, I hope everybody that lost power this weekend might get their power back.
Yeah.
Because that was an issue. At one point, there was a big windstorm on Saturday, and it seemed that people still had no power after 24 hours, I'm seeing on Facebook. So, again, hopefully everybody got their power on. We did not lose power, fortunately. I'm surprised. But, again, hopefully people could get back to some normalcy, as I'm sure they have to throw everything out in the refrigerator.
Yeah, that would suck. I was surprisingly, the studio did not get hit. Normally, we're like the first to go.
We lucked out.
It's because we weren't streaming that day. I guarantee you, if we were streaming at that time, everything would have blown up.
Absolutely. You know that. Guys, a few things before we do get started. Team USA, they do advance to the finals in the World Baseball Championship. Mike Paul Skeens, he throws 6-hitter, gives up 1 run, has 2 strikeouts and 4 and a third inning pitched. Team USA wins 2-1 over the Dominicans. They do move on to the finals. The Pirates, Mike, they're back at it today. They play the Twins at 1:05. That game will be starting here within the next half hour. The Penguins, they beat the Mammoth over the weekend to improve their record to 33-18-15. They're back at it tonight against the Colorado Avalanche down in Colorado. Mike, that's a 9:30 start. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, our other football team, if you will, they win over the weekend. They beat Loudoun United 3-2. They'll be back at it tomorrow in a U.S. Open Cup game. That's tomorrow at 7 o'clock versus Steel City. And finally, Mike, the NCAA brackets were set last night as the selection show gave everybody their spot in the bracket, Mike. And the four number 1 seeded teams overall are Duke, Arizona, Michigan, and Florida. They are your 4 number 1 teams in the bracket. Blink, and the whole thing will be over.
Yes.
By Sunday, 2 rounds are already going to be knocked out. And then next week, they knock out 2 more rounds, and then it's on to the championship. So blink, and it'll be over before you know it. Mike, why don't you let everybody know about what you have going on? If you're interested on the side, we do have a bracket challenge. Mike, why don't you tell everybody that?
Yeah, we started a bracket challenge just like we did with the NFL Pick'ems during the NFL season. So I just dropped it in there right now. So sign up. Everyone who signs up, you can have 2 brackets in, and it's just sign up, pick your brackets, man, and let's go and have some fun. Nothing serious, just something to do in the background while the NCAA March Madness tournament is going on. I figured a lot of people love the NFL one, so why not give this one a try? You know, people who don't even follow basketball always throw in a bracket just because.
And there you go. You see Mike has it on the feed as well. You could just click in on that link, get in, and get your bracket challenge. I got to be honest, I haven't even gone over there yet, so it's all news to me. But there it is. Mike does have the link up on the terrible board. I do want to say good morning and good afternoon to everybody, no matter where you be. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Again, this is episode 927 as the countdown is on to the NFL draft. Mike, just 38 days from now, it's going to be going down 38, 39, and 40, I guess it will be, because it goes throughout the weekend. It is coming right down the pike. Let's get on the board, say what's up to everybody. Let's get the show started.
Do it.
Good morning. I do want to say good morning to Richard. What's up, Richard Jankowski? Always great to see Richard on the terrible board. My man, I hope you had a great weekend. Nice to see you, sir. Corey, don't drink that. He says this. What's up, guys? Let's get into some Steeler talk. That's right, baby. Corey from over at the Don't Drink That podcast. Do go check him out. A lot of good stuff. If you like conspiracy theories, get over there. Plenty of content. RB, what's up, dude? Always great seeing RB. He says, you guys hear anything about Rodgers being in the building yesterday? I heard some rumblings he was in the building. They heard they were checking the availability price of Will Levis. If that's not enough to make you want to throw up everywhere. I see. What's the one guy? Mike Florio. Florio. Say it again, Mike.
Florio.
Now he's saying that what I see from him over the weekend, one of his posts were that Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are basically a done deal. He said, Mike, that this is what he reported. He said that it basically comes down to the announcement at this point. Is any of that matching up with what RB is saying, Mike? Possibly he was in the building. Florio making these statements that it's a done deal at this point. Just got to wait for the announcement. Is this something? Is this happening?
It could be. I haven't seen anything about or any of the rumblings. I know like the last time he was in, like people were tracking down his rental car and they figured out, oh, okay, he was in the building, and there was none of that this time. So if he got in, what did they do? Throw him in the trunk of a car? Because everyone's waiting to see if he will be here. So I haven't seen anything. There'll be good news. Just to get it over and done with. And like we've been saying here for a couple weeks now on the show, like the Steelers know whether he's coming back or not. Even if there's like him going, hey man, I'm like 75% in, they have plans in place. And whether it be looking into someone like Will Levis, like lower round like guys, just to fill out that room, it might sound like it's either going to be Aaron Rodgers or Will Levis will be the starting quarterback this year. If they're going to go out and get one of these guys, it's going to serve to be like the third
I am
string
so
quarterback.
against
Probably.
Will Levis being our starting quarterback this year. That literally makes zero sense to me, and I don't want that at all because, again, he was not even good enough to make a team in Tennessee. And, again, to even consider him being a starter, I think is insane right here in Pittsburgh. I couldn't imagine that being the case.
Me either. Maybe if you want to bring him in as your third quarterback, okay. But it's talk about like a late round pick swap. So if we have to give up a 6 and get a 7 back in return, and you want to bring him in as your third string quarterback, reclamation project kind of guy with Will Howard, Mason Rudolph, okay, fine. As long as you commit to like Will Howard's going to be your guy, Mason's number 2, and Levis, we're going to see if there's anything in there if we can, scrape his career back together.
Back together?
I know, right? I know. Poor choice of words, but you know what I mean. Just see if there's something there. Can we turn him into a backup?
At that point, we might as well just take anybody. At this point, I mean, go get Mac Jones or go get Ty Simpson. At this point, if you were seriously considering Will Levis, I don't know where that came from, but I am against that 155%. There's nothing good that comes out of acquiring Will Levis to me, Mike. Nothing.
Me either. I've never ban a fan of Will Levis at all.
Not only Will Levis has never even had a fan anywhere. Nobody has ever been a fan of Will Levis. I can assure you.
Yeah, I just never been a fan. I just not no. No, and give me 0 Will Levis. I mean, he lost out a starting spot to Mason Rudolph.
I come on.
Now, if you want to bring him in as your third stringer, I have no problem with that because he's not going to see the field.
There's a couple of things. I mean, third stringer, but you still have a backup. You still have a Will Howard. Will Levis is not the answer for anything.
Oh God, no.
Because for one, you either want to find a starter or you want to find somebody to be able to move around what you have. And again, Will Levis. Again, furthest thing from that, my opinion. Let's move forward, Mike. I want to say good afternoon to Dude, always on the board lately. I would love to see Dude. Always great seeing you on the terrible board, my man. Hope you had a great weekend, sir. He says, afternoon, fellas. At RB, Corey says this, as in Will Levis.
Get your mayo ready.
Just as surprised as everybody else, I do also want to say good afternoon to Cadence Braxton on the terrible board. Welcome to the show. Great to have you on the board, my man. Also, Kenneth Jones. What's up, Rose? Always great seeing Kenneth on the terrible board. Great seeing everybody today. Hope everybody had a good weekend. RB says yes, they have checked in a lot of young They have checked in on a lot of young backups, is what RB is saying. Yinzer Joe, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Yinzer Joe on the terrible board, my man. Corey says, ooh, but he's not even serviceable. Laugh my ass off. He's good for Mayo commercials. I guess that's about it. Like, nobody wants Will Levis. If you remember draft day, and I know
his girlfriend didn't want him.
His girlfriend didn't even want to be she didn't even want to be spotted near him. Listen, if you're going in if you're looking to get be a first round pick in the NFL as a quarterback, and your girlfriend don't even want to sit around you, I don't want you.
Yeah, I think she's had a better post career than Will Levis did.
What Will
Wait,
Levis?
but dude, you know how coaches are. I can fix them.
No,
I just hope McCarthy doesn't have that mindset with a Will Levis. Oh, I can fix him.
No. RB says Milton, Baguette, Mills, Levis, McKee, and McCarthy. Who's not available apparently. Yinzer Joe says Levis needs to stay where he is and put mayo in his coffee. Christopher, what's up, man? Great seeing Christopher. He says this. We finally have a legitimate nose tackle in Day. We are still going to draft one in the late rounds. I do want to say that. Yes, that is something that did happen since we've been gone, guys. Steelers do get Sebastian Joseph Day, Mike, defensive lineman, on a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
Day has won a Super Bowl. He has 55 career sacks. So you're wondering if Day is an upgrade from Isaiah Loudermilk. And he is, just as every move that we've made so far this offseason. Like every move that we made seems to be an upgrade.
Yeah.
Looking at the wide receiver spot, looking at in the secondary, so many things going on, Mike, right now with the Steeler team. And again, we still have a draft coming up in 38 days to still improve this team. And there's still going to be things happening between now and then. We have a lot to get into today. And I do want to announce before we go on any further on the board, Michael Pittman Jr. is going to continue to wear number 11. Jamel Dean is going to continue to wear number 35 in Pittsburgh. And also Rico Dowdle, Mike, he's going to wear number 13, which I like this. You don't see 13 often in the league, but I do like this. He's a beast. He's going to be running over people. He's going to be wearing 13. I'm here for it, Mike. Those 3 guys are going to go forward with those numbers in the black and the gold.
I like it. Day has 16 sacks, not 55.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you.
No. I know he had like 77 hurries, but like the sack number that I was like, really? Did he have that many? I just had.
All right. Well, let me continue on the board.
I'm sorry. No, I didn't.
RB says it's probably a good thing. Tater is a fan of the Browns, seeing as his country is being overthrown by Muslims in Sharia law.
Oh, RB stirring the pot.
It's not good over there. He's not wrong. Let's go up here to Yinzer Joe. Yinzer Joe says Joseph Day is legitimate. I don't know him. Really unfamiliar with him. Tortilla, what's up? All the way from California. My man Tortilla Jackson. Somber says Florio doesn't know shit. LOL. And you know what? It wasn't consistent with all the rest of the news that I'm reading, and it just this tweet popped up from Mike Florio, and it said that about Aaron. It said it's all but done. It's done. Just the announcement is all that's left. And what you should, if that's it, what if he is the one that has the truth? What if Aaron Rodgers, the deal is all but done and they just have to make the announcement? We don't know that, but again, Florio is the only person making that statement, that claim. Corey says this. Thanks for the shout out again. I've got a video coming out tonight about the Iran war and how it could be connected to biblical locations and how it's all ancient civilizations for about 2 months. I'll be excited to check that out. Corey, that's coming out tonight over on Don't Drink That here on YouTube. He follows it up by saying Florio is clickbait sports analyst. He's no better than Noah on AST. Let's see. Let's go up to RB. He says, I'm different than most people. If a kid has pure talent, you could coach that. Out of both guys, Levis had 10 times the arm talent than Jones or Simpsons, but always had shitty coaching. RB also follows it up by saying, will we be great? Probably not. But you have to look at the guys with the talent and see if you could bring that out. We gave Notes talent Kenny 2 years. Tyrone, JPJ's the GOAT. No, Tyrone, you're the GOAT. How you doing this morning, brother? Always great seeing Tyrone on the terrible board. Welcome to the show. Yinzer Joe says, could have coached Levis, but he already spent too long in a crappy coached organization. Doubt he is fixable. RB says Day is 310 pounds. He's not a legitimate nose tackle, not in a 3-4. End of Days. What's up, dude? Always great seeing End of Days. He says, will the Steelers trade for San Francisco quarterback? I don't know that, but I do know, Mike, that our punter will be kicking in San Francisco as Corliss Waitman, Mike, is signed with the San Francisco 49ers. Our punter from last year, very, very good. I had no complaints with what Corliss Waitman did last year, Mike, but as Bill Burr comes back, Corliss Waitman on his way to San Francisco.
A good pickup by San Francisco. And the Mac Jones rumors say they heated up big time over the weekend. But what I was reading was San Francisco right now lowered their asking price from a first to a 2 and a 4. And I still think that's too high for Mac Jones.
Absolutely. Mac Jones, listen, for Mac Jones, he hasn't done anything. This guy, literally, all he did was get drafted, and get passed up by another guy who got drafted after him, got traded to another team, and is sitting behind another guy who's starting. There's literally no appeal to me to Mac Jones at all.
No, he had a pretty good rookie year, then did nothing, and
Did
then yeah, it was a decent rookie year. Yeah, it wasn't bad. That's why I was surprised.
I got to take a look at these numbers.
I'm just going off the top of my head, trying to remember. I thought it was a decent rookie year. When he filled in like this year, I think with San Francisco, he wasn't too bad. But a lot of people want to say any quarterback can be plucked into that system and look good. So who knows who the real Mac Jones is? But stick with the guys that we have on the roster. If you're going to get anyone, get guys that can be late round pick swaps and used as a third string quarterback, someone better than a Skylar Thompson.
I think
I don't want to give up a second round pick for a quarterback. If that's the case, might as well just draft a guy in the second round.
Absolutely,
pick on him, get him on that 4-year rookie contract.
I think it's plain and simple. I don't think that there should be this much confusion on what's going on with our quarterback situation. If Aaron comes back, he now has weapons. He's probably going to be protected a little bit more. He's probably going to have a better season. The Steelers are going to probably have a good season, and the Steelers are finally building an identity. You have 4 guys on this team that could catch footballs at 6'5" or above. You bring in a beast of a running back like Dowdle. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, this team is going to be okay. But listen, I know that that's not the ideal answer, and I know it's not the answer, and it's ultimately not. But for what this year is, I think that's the best case scenario. What are you going to do? You're going to bring in Mac Jones and hope he's the guy, hope he gets it done, hope that we can just put everything on his shoulders and say, okay, Mac Jones our guy. What are we going to do? Bring in Will Levis and the same thing? At this point, you might as well play Will Howard if you're going to bring in Will Levis.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's very simple, and you address the draft next year. You let Will Howard get reps in this year, let him play in preseason. Aaron Rodgers comes back. We're going to have a decent season. New coaching staff, and you wait it out, and then you have a good problem. You have whoever you draft next year and Will Howard, and then you go from there. You let these 2 guys compete. But at the end of the day, all these foreign names, I don't even understand what the logic would be to bring in a Will Levis at this point. I mean, for one, he's not good enough to be a starter. For 2, who's he backing up? We don't have a starter. He literally answers no questions, Mike, at the quarterback position, Will Levis.
Yeah, I don't like that move at all. I think it would be a very, very bad move if they do it in the only way you can justify to say, hey, he's our third string quarterback, and we're running with Will Howard. And then if Will doesn't work, we got Mason Rudolph as our guy. And that would be the only way you would do it. It'd be like if Aaron Rodgers retires, like, okay, hey, we're going to see, what Will Howard can do. And like we've been saying for 2 weeks now, worst case scenario, you find out he's not the guy and then you're picking in the top 10. Best case scenario, you find out he is the guy and you keep building the team around him.
How is this?
So it's like a win-win situation for the Steelers.
It is a win-win, Mike. And that's what I'm saying. You throw an idiot in this whole mix. It's going to kind of fumble.
Yeah.
We kind of have a thing of, and again, you got to understand as well. It is a multi-billion-dollar company, and these are high-profile things, and these are millionaires. They know what's going on with Aaron.
Yeah.
They know what's going on with Aaron. It would be insane to think that they don't. Well, here we go. We're putting our whole entire NFL football season on the back of somebody that we don't know is going to be here. We don't know what to. It's bullshit. They know he's going to be here, whether he is or whether he isn't. And I think you'd have to be crazy not to think that. I mean, my business would know because it's a official place of work, and if there was a personnel situation, I guarantee my business would be, my employer would be right on top of that because you need to know what's going on with your company.
Yeah.
So again, I can't even imagine that they don't know what's going on. So again, Mike, I think this is how it plays out. If it's not, I am also seeing, Mike, that the Steelers are closely monitoring the Kirk Cousins situation. I kid you not, closely monitoring Kirk Cousins, which again, with that, I don't like it. You don't like it. He's going to get you 1,000,000 yards in the regular season. But again, if you're looking to get anywhere in the playoffs, it's probably not going to happen.
No, I don't. Just run with the quarterbacks you're going to have. If it's not Aaron Rodgers, run with Will Howard, and see what you got. It's not going to be a wasted season. But Kirk Cousins, get the hell out of here.
Let's move on the board. I do want to say welcome to everybody. Glad to see everybody on this Monday morning, beautiful Monday morning, like 71 degrees here in the Berg yesterday. Couldn't have been nicer. let's get back on the board and say what's up. Georgianne, what's up? Always great seeing Georgianne on the terrible board. She says, Ryan Vanilla Thunder, good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Tyrone says, Ryan, Mike, hope you had a good weekend. We did. It was warm. I know you're not that far off, and I'm sure your weekend was warm as well. It was nice. It was a nice change of pace, Mike, after it dropped there, because it was warm for a while. Then it dropped, now back up, so we will take it.
Yeah.
Just Learning, what's up, homie? Always great seeing Just Learning. He says, what up, homeboys? End of days. I don't want Rodgers. He lost a playoff game, and we'll do it again. Hydrate. Gubbyums. I do want to say hello. Gubbyums. Mike says hello. Welcome to the terrible board. Welcome to the show. Great to see Gubbyums on the show. Somber says good riddance. Good riddance. Kenneth says, what do you think about Justin Fields to the Chiefs? I do think it's funny. Of course, that did go down this morning. Justin Fields is on his way to the Kansas City Chiefs, Mike, to save the great dynasty, if you will. The team finally doesn't advance to the playoffs under the quarterback that they do have, and they run out and grab Justin Fields. I know things are going to be better now.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice for to back up, because I know what Mahomes is coming back from that ACL, and if he's not ready, and you start Fields the season, that's an interesting choice down there.
Absolutely. Go right here. Yinzer Joe says Corliss Waitman stressed me out with his inconsistency. Some games he'd bomb the hell out of it. Other game, but you know what? We certainly had worse in the past. The thing about being a Steeler fan, I mean, remember when Josh Miller kicked it 7 yards, and like we've certainly seen this in the past. It isn't like it's anything new to people in Pittsburgh. I thought he did well enough, but I would rather Bill Burr because he is very consistent. And we're going to get a chance to look at both of them. Like we had, of course, Waitman here last year, and Johnston will be here this year.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with Johnson. I think it's good. I think he'll be fine.
Corey says this: the only thing that I give in Levis, his defense is no quarterback seems to do well. Oh, in Levis's defense, no quarterback seems to do well in Tennessee. I don't know. What's her face? Arthur Smith sure made them look like they were good. Let's go to, but no, I agree, Corey. Tyrone says A-Rod, DK, Pittman, Muth, Darnell, Washington, Rico, Warren, drafts 2 wide receivers, fix. That's what I'm saying, guys. I don't know if we're that far off. We might have fell backwards into shit and came out smelling like roses, because again, at the end of the day, it appears that everything that we did in preseason last week is certainly an improvement from what we had going on. And we still have 12 draft picks in 38 days.
Yeah. And there's still free agency going on.
There's still free agency. We're still shopping around. So to say that this team is going to bomb out, I literally don't see any situation. Again, you don't know. That's why they play the game. But nothing glares out at me that this team should bomb at this point. But again, we still don't know who our quarterback's going to be. That is a big part of the equation at the end of the day. So maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Yinzer Joe says this: we all stress out about the QB spot, but in all actuality, Rodgers doesn't need to be here till after the draft and before camp. You know what? For us, I think you're right. But of course, I think obviously the organization and the coaches need to be in on all that information. Let's go to RB. He says, anyone see Taylor Green kill his career on the RG3 podcast? Teams and GMs asking me to move to wide receiver and only looking at my skin color. Way to go, kid. Way to moron yourself out of a lot of money. I didn't see that.
Well, no one asked Josh Allen when he couldn't complete a pass in D2. They asked Lamar, so it's kind of got a point.
Explain what you're saying, because again, Mike, I don't know what you mean.
He's an athletic quarterback, big, fast. Accuracy issues reminds me of Josh Allen coming out of college, and they asked him.
Is he white?
No.
Okay.
He's a black quarterback, and teams are asking him to go try wide receiver instead of, trying. And he's like, no, I want to be a quarterback, and they never ask white quarterbacks that can run and are inaccurate to switch positions.
Sure they do. They tried putting Tim Tebow at tight end. What are you talking about?
That was after his career faltered in the end.
No, it doesn't matter.
He was drafted in the first round.
It doesn't matter. They tried to take a first-round quarterback and put him at tight end. No, you're not correct. You're right off the top of my head.
It was like not as he was coming.
The timing is irrelevant. The point is of what you're saying.
The timing is relevant.
White athletic quarterbacks never get asked to move to another position with what you're saying. I don't care what the timing was. I don't care if it was the day after.
God, whatever. Just move on.
Well, you had your say, so now I'm going to have my say. I'm just saying that you said that white quarterbacks never get asked to play other positions if they're athletic. And I'm just saying that right off the top of my head, I instantly found one. So
yeah, after he proved that he could not be an NFL quarterback. Again, in context of the comment, it's about pre-draft.
That's not no. Because most people don't even know what you're talking about. So I'm trying to put it in context so people understand what you're saying. Where is he out of? Fill us in. Like, people don't know what you're talking about.
He's out of Arkansas.
So he's out of Arkansas. He's an athletic quarterback, and they want him to play. They want him to try wide receiver, and he won't.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Maybe he's not good enough to play quarterback like Tebow.
This is why I've quit the show numerous times. Stupid comments like this that we have to read and then react
to. You're going to be honest. That's a stupid comment trying to have an intelligent conversation, ask questions.
No. What you're talking race baiting comments in that we read, then I want to react to them because I don't want people to think I'm a racist.
And I let you
by reading them and go on for it, and then we get sidetracked and shit like that.
No, I just deserve my response as well. Because you had a response to the question and I had mine. And now that you're seeing that you're wrong, you get shitty.
I'm not wrong. I know.
And you're going to quit the show.
I put shit in context. I'm putting it in context. No, you're stupid for not understanding context.
Mike,
you never understand
I understand the context always.
No, I put it in context.
But I'm asking the questions that people want to know. They hadn't people didn't have no idea who we were talking about. So don't you think people should know that?
And I think we should skip comments like that, but that's just me.
Hold
on. Because we know what it does to the show and shit, and it's annoying to me. But,
I just... yeah. All right. We're going to move on. Since somebody can't have adult talk on the show, let's do catch up right about here. Taylor Green. I have to look this up. Again, still not familiar. Corey says this, I can see the headlines now. The wills to compete. The two wills. Stupid, don't do it. Also, Steeler Freak says this. I do want to say what's up to John all the way out in California. He says, Rooney won't start Howard. Somber says people did a similar thing to Lamar. Green will be fine. They do it to all kind of athletics quarterbacks. They always see if they want to do something where they could be more of they're athletic. How can you not want to use them? That's all. Let's go to... And again, I don't know, but I don't want you to leave, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to be a big boy. And Tortilla says this at RB. Yeah, there's no one asking Shador to move the wide receiver. Bro tested off the charts. That's why. Shador, they had his number retired at Colorado, right? He had one season over 500. I'm sure this is racist too, Mike, so I'm going to move that on as well. There he goes.
Hell, you piece of shit.
There he goes.
Yeah, fuck everyone, dude, man.
Grab your ball. RB says everyone is missing.
I'll grab the ball.
They aren't looking to bring on the show. Are you going to listen to the comment?
Motherfucker.
Are you going to listen? You're going to listen. You're going to participate? Or are you going to be disruptive the whole time?
I'll be disruptive all day fucking long. I don't give a flying fuck.
And I'm the piece of shit, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. For just trying to find the answers and you can't handle it. I'm the piece of shit and you're going to...
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. Yeah. I just wanted to be clear.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get to RB. Everyone's missing the point. He says they aren't looking to bring a quarterback in if they moved on me. If they feel Aaron Rodgers is coming back, you aren't looking at a quarterback unless one, he's coming back, or two, confident that Howard is not. George Ann says, I don't think the Steelers will be great this year with all the rebuild, but our Steelers seems to pull it out all the time. That's what I'm saying. The Steelers win. Steelers always find a way to win. They just do. They always have. It's a successful franchise. And successful franchises win a lot. Green Bay wins a lot. Have they been relevant in the league? No. They win a lot in football. Even Dallas, a team that hasn't been relevant in 30 years as far as making it at least to the championship game, they win a lot of football games.
Yep. Those franchises know how to continue to build on the fly, too. They don't always have to tear it down.
Let's go right here. And I want to see if anybody else gets as upset as Mike did on these on the board. Again, I don't see anybody else causing a ruckus. I'm going to certainly pay attention here. Keep it to myself. Georgianne says, I don't think the Steelers will be great. We did get that one. Tyrone says, I had Browns fans say he ain't worried about us. I was like, more like we ain't worried about you. Think about I laugh my ass off. Think it, Tater cousin. RB, I'm sorry. Corey says this at RB. I see what you're getting at. I just feel like I don't care at this point. If Rodgers likes playing, Rodgers is playing games. I'm tired of entertaining him, and it sounds like we squandered other options waiting. And that's another reason why I think he's going to be here. He's going to be fine, because there could have been ways that we could have addressed this, and we didn't. We did nothing. So again, that tells me that they probably have an idea what they're doing. I'm just saying, a new coaching staff, they don't want to come in blind saying, oh, well, here we go, guys. We're going to a month till draft, and we still have no idea what we're going to do at quarterback. I refuse to think that that's what's going on.
Yeah, like they have so many plans in place for like this specific scenario. Is he coming back? Is he not coming back? Okay. Who's available? We don't like him. Let's give the young guy a shot. Or, maybe, a Hail Mary, a fucking Joe Flacco type situation. Come in, start a couple games, and then hand the reins off to the young guy.
Vegas says, what's good, fellas? Always great seeing Vegas from Vegas. My man. Great to see you on the terrible board. Tortilla says this, Mahomes should be out for a while because if his leg is, forget he tore his ACL, something. He has some kind of,
big I know it's the ACL, and I what you said about the LCL too. I knew it was like definitely the ACL.
Somber says Tater has sleeper agents. Georgianne, I still think Steelers need Aaron this. I do too. I think that Aaron Rodgers is the right answer for this year, unless I think that I think if we wanted to have a shot at this year, I think Aaron Rodgers is probably the right answer, which is crazy because yes, he is 43, and that is exactly what's coming out of my mouth. We have a better chance. But what else is the options at this point? Will Levis isn't coming in and winning playoff games. I'm sorry. Will Levis isn't even good enough to make a team. He's not good. He was struggling, battling against Mason Rudolph when that was going down. So at the end of the day, I'm a big proponent of having Will Howard participate this year. To what capacity, I don't know. But maybe, just maybe, he might go out and be fine. We don't know that. Some quarterbacks have stepped in and have been able to do exceptional. But again, we'll have to wait to see how he plays. But at this point, with the draft coming, Mike, and then the draft coming a year from now, with all the quarterbacks coming out of next year, what the position that we're in right now, if Aaron could come back and duplicate what he did last year, perhaps, throw, and again, maybe more touchdowns because you have more weapons. Last year, you didn't even have a wide receiver too, and your wide receiver room was deficient. So by default, it would have to be better, you would think. And I'm going to get into some numbers that are going to convince you of that here in just a moment. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. He says, so are we the best player available in the draft or still filling needs? It depends what goes down with the left guard.
Yeah.
I mean, they could, the left guard situation could be taken care of before the draft, before 38 days from now. But if it's not, you better damn well believe that left guard is going to be a high priority in this draft.
Oh yeah, either first or second round, they can fill that pick or fill that position right there. And right now, the way the roster's filling out, that first round really could be, even if they get someone for guard. If you can always get an upgrade over the guy you brought in free agency or an upgrade over Mason McCormick, don't be afraid to go for it. Build up that beefy offensive line, because that's been their philosophy. Is building both lines. So, and if one's there and he happens to be the highest rated player on the board, why not take a swing on the guard first round? Keep building the trenches. Stay true to your philosophy, and there's going to be plenty of receivers when you come to pick again in the second round, or if they start flying off the board, you have enough ammunition to move up to secure getting one too. So they have a lot of flexibility in that first round.
William Bailey, I want to say welcome to the show. William says, need a true quarterback. We sure do. We're 7 years removed, basically. And again, no plan after Ben. And that kind of is why we landed where we landed and where we are. And we're trying to figure a way around this. But again, yeah, you're right. We are in need of our franchise guy. Again, he hasn't been available for the past few years. I mean, we could have surely jumped on Sam Darnold, spend a little money on him, but I don't know. He went to Seattle and won a Super Bowl. So let's go to Tyrone, Joe, RB, Matt Jones, Julian Edelman. Let's check out. Don't drink that. Corey says this. Would it really be bad to take a chance on Simpson? I don't keep up much with college quarterbacks because there's just too many for me. But do we really have? What do we really have to lose, Mike? You could take that.
Nah, I don't want to whiff on a first-round quarterback. I think there's a whole hell of a lot of players better than what Ty Simpson would be as a quarterback. So I'm of the philosophy of you keep building the roster. I think eventually down the line, like if he progresses right, Will Howard could be a competent NFL quarterback. If they want to go that route, keep building out their roster. If they don't think Ty Simpson's going to be much better than like a top 20 quarterback in the league, don't even bother taking him. Get the best player available. Keep filling out that roster. That's just my philosophy with these teams.
RB says Matt Jones was almost the same player as Taylor Green down the school and play style. Also, Williams says, can we get a stronger, mature quarterback? I think we have about the most mature quarterback that we could get. But at the end of the day, what's out there is out there at this point, William. There's really, again, 2 off seasons. We kind of squandered every opportunity because of Aaron. And again, this is what tells me that the Steelers probably know what's going on with Aaron. I'd be hard-pressed to think that they don't. I really would at this point, especially when you have nothing going on. You literally have nothing at that position at this point. Yes, Will Howard, but is it realistic to even say, well, you know what, Will Howard right now can be the starting quarterback one? Again, we still haven't seen the guy take a single snap in the NFL, not even in preseason due to that injury. So, again, I think it's you got to think that they know. You have to think that they know what's going on.
They have to. And the way they're operating in free agency is telling me they know what's going on or have a strong indication.
Tyrone says it ain't worth to argue. No, it's not. Mike's a big guy. But if he wanted to play quarterback, but he would be a better blocker, I would say, Mike, you're a big guy. And you couldn't fault me for saying that because you're really strong in that suit. So, again, I don't know what always brings that nastiness in an argument up. So I'm going to move on, though. Just Learning says, I agree with Vanilla. There you go. In the quarterback situation, I agree with Vanilla. There you go. Somber says left guard, left tackle, slot, wide receiver, slot, corner, nose tackle. And then there are positions they need to get younger at. Still plenty of needs. Tebow did beat us at quarterback. He wasn't good enough to be a quarterback, but he managed to beat us in the playoffs, didn't he? Let's go to Jonte Spencer. I want to say what's up and welcome to the show to Jonte Spencer. First time watching the show. Yep, to the comments on the topic or why I won't be back. Peace. Let me move on to Georgianne. She says this. Come on, it's great to hear each. I agree. That's the fair way so you can assess and make your own opinion. But Mike only wants to get one side out.
No, I feel like there are certain comments that are just out of bounds, out of pocket that don't need to be read and acknowledged.
I read every comment on the board because I care what every person has to say.
And then I want to comment on them back too, because
I gave you your opportunity to do that
with them. And I want people to know that I just feel like there's just certain comments that should not be read out of because they're in poor taste.
That's very wrong.
And they can alienate segments of potential viewers or viewers. So
I would argue that 110%, but I understand what you're saying overall.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. But that particular argument, I disagree with you 110%. And, you had your time to speak and I had my time. So let's move on. Georgianne says, come on, it's great to hear each thought. I agree.
No, it's not. Actually, it's not.
This show, it always has been and it always is and it always will be. Tortilla says, damn, it's something in the air today. Somber says, what is happening today? Good Lord. Today is wild. John says, this time's for couple counseling. Again?
Nope.
Somber. Yeah, it's believe me, it's not worth it. Not with this one. Somber says the world needs a big okay. That little okay. You know what? I'm holding myself back. I am because I know that you'll run. So I'm going to move on the board. Tortilla says Tater is in our heads. He is in our heads again the day before St. Patrick's Day. Imagine that. Tyrone says I need to go smoke. Not gonna lie. Yinzer Joe, you guys know technically you're both right. I know, but he will never. Listen, I could take a draw. He won't ever take a draw. Everybody's wrong. Just opinions that you guys differ on. Keep your cool. I agree 100%. Mike, hang in there. Steeler Freak is saying. Tyrone says, don't worry about the comments. I don't know what was said or a question, but it ain't work. You're right, it isn't, because it wasn't. Some dude got asked to move to receiver. William says conference championship in 2 years. Conference championship in 2 years. I like that. I like
it too. I think that's what I was saying last week. A year or two, we should be knocking on the door.
Steeler Freak says I felt sick with the Mike McCarthy hire. Rodgers is just an insult to my injury. Tyrone, Mike McCarthy, good coach. He hasn't even done nothing yet. Play nice, fellas. Kenneth Jones. Also, Steeler Freak says the Steelers currently have less than 1% chance to win the Super Bowl with or without Rodgers.
Who has the highest percentage? And go run and put money on it.
What?
I said, who has the highest percentage chance? So might as well go and run and put money on whoever has the highest percent chance to win.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
RB says, talk about pure arm talent and football IQ. You aren't beating Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Stafford. Maybe. And Stafford is still dominant, which shows old guys in real schemes can still play. RB says, left tackle is more important to left guard than left guard to me. I agree. And I know you're going back to, I'd made the comment maybe left guard in the first round, but left tackle certainly is right there as well. I just didn't say it.
Yep. Quarterback, left tackle, cornerback. Still the top 3 premium positions in the NFL.
RB says, I don't trust what we have now. Kenneth says some players play for money more than the team. Steelers players too, but they also play for the black and gold. Tyrone says left guard is a big need for both left side on offensive line. Tyrone says, "Do we believe in Cook?" You know what? In this, we were willing to believe in Malik Willis, who in small doses had success. So when the guy comes in and stops Myles Garrett from getting the sack record on your 43-year-old quarterback, and not many other blunders in the last month of the season or how long ever he played. So again, you have to ask yourself. Do we believe in Cook? Do we believe in Cook long enough to get Broderick Jones healthy to even,
I have no problems throwing Dylan Cook out there in the preseason. Let's see what he has. But I want us to have someone else in place too, just in case. But if he, that's why maybe bring back, oh God, who's that swing tackle we brought in from the Saints? Oh, the older guy, but maybe bring someone like him back in that could be starter capable, but can be a backup, and let Dylan Cook run with it. I give him a shot, man, because he was playing well down the stretch. So why not give him a shot? And like I said, we have these new coaches coming in. Let's see if they can get something out of him, something more, because he was playing all right, and we all were in agreement that our old O-line coach sucks. So get him in with someone who should be better. Dylan Cook, but maybe could be the answer there. Why not, man? Run him back and run him back on the cheap and spend that money elsewhere.
Let's go check. I do want to say this, guys. It was Howard Betta. Howard Betta was the one that reported Rodgers' deal was done, just pending announcement. That was Howard Betta. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It was not Florio. He is involved in another comment I do have, so we'll get to that in just a moment. Let me see. Somber says, forget to throw tight end in there. That is a need now.
We lost Meatwad.
Might need to get more safeties. I don't know. And in my opinion, Meatwad was the biggest loss. Out of all them guys that left the Steelers, Mike, today we're going to go over what happened last week, talk about the guys that we gained, guys that we lost, people we were able to extend. I got to be honest, of all the people that left, yes, Gainwell is big, but being able to replace him with the Dowdle, Mike, I don't miss him as much. Meatwad, pound for pound, might be the biggest loss we took because of all the little scrappy things that he does well.
Yeah, so we got to find someone in the draft that can do those little things, or hopefully we have guys that can step up and do those little things more, or we have better talent where we don't need someone to be that scrappy little guy. But Meatwad did grow on me last year. I like the way he was used. I don't think it's a major loss, but now we do need a tight end 3, someone who can be a sneaky athletic guy. So it might be in the later rounds, like 5th, 6th, 7th round, we see a tight end come off the board.
I think I missed Corey. Corey says that RB same. I don't trust what we have or what's available, and that comes from years of patchwork instead of pulling off the Band-Aid and just doing what needs to be done. Tyrone says this. He says Vegas first round, Zachary Branch 2nd round. Let's go to Tyrone. This football talk. Also, William Bailey says, what's better, 3-4 or 4-3 defense for the Steelers? I mean, I think at this day and age, I think the 4-3 wouldn't be a bad idea. But I don't know if I could see, are the Steelers ever going to go out of the 3-4? It's almost like they're not allowed.
Yeah, because Watt and Highsmith are not your typical outside linebackers in a 4-3, and they're not your typical size for D ends in a 4-3. So you're kind of stuck into right now a mix hybrid of what they've been running with the multiple front looks of going to 3-4 and going to like the 2 down linemen with your 2 edge rushers and then 2 linebackers behind them. That's kind of where they're at right now. If they ever want to go to a more traditional 4-3, they're eventually going to have to rotate out of Highsmith and Watt.
All right. Ty says this. He says, we love both of you. We love you, Ty. Always, my man. It's all good, brother. Let's go to Ghost. Ghost says this. Why is it so hard to find that franchise quarterback? So many guys come out each year, and it's really that far and few between, or is it just getting your shot? I always say this on the show, Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally only about 5 elite quarterbacks on the planet at any given time. And you know who they are. They're the guys that are constantly winning. And the Patrick Mahomes and the Josh Allens, Matt Stafford. I mean, again, there's literally 5. And we had one for 20 years almost with Ben. And Tom Brady, New England had theirs. And Peyton Manning was there. So again, you take those 3 names, add Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, there's your handful of elite quarterbacks for that era. And whatever the reason is, again, I don't know. It seems to be psychological because those guys seem to just have it up here. But you never really see more than 5 elite quarterbacks in the NFL at one time. And if you don't have one of them, you pretty much don't have a chance.
Yeah, it's like and even if like you have a top 10 quarterback, even then it's still a crapshoot if that's enough talent to put you over the top.
I mean, Ben didn't win anything from 2009 to the rest of his career. So, it doesn't guarantee, but you know what? It surely gives you a good shot if you do have that guy, and most teams don't have him. Everybody wants him, but it's and with
hard
Ben,
to find.
It was it was catching lightning in a bottle. People wanted Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning out of that draft, and we were kind of scratching our head when we got a guy named Roethlisberger that nobody really heard of before. And almost like we caught lightning in a bottle. So we guess we have to be thankful for that. But again, it's tough. It's tough finding that guy. Because even when you have that guy and you're the guy, it does.
And a lot of things have to go right. Even once you have that guy, you got to have all the pieces in place. And so that's why I like what the Steelers are doing. That's why I really don't want them to go forcing themselves to get a quarterback. Because when we got Ben, we were doing all right with Tommy Maddox. We were kind of talking ourselves into like Tommy Maddox could be the guy because of the team around him. So what are we doing now? Ever since Colin and Weedle came here, it's been building the team and then plugging in quarterbacks while continuing to build the team till we find our guy. And that's going to be their approach until, again, we fall bass backwards into another like Big Ben type situation, or we can find a young quarterback that a team doesn't want and plug him to be the guy, or Will Howard becomes the guy. So we're in that cycle again of building the team and then trying to plug in quarterbacks until we get our guy.
Somber says, and Edge Kenneth says this, Cook Cook moves well and uses his hands well. He just needs to get stronger. And the only thing the guy's really lacking is experience.
Yeah.
And then again, in those small doses, we were willing to run out and grab Malik Willis to come and save the day and lead this team. So I don't know what the hesitation is with Cook. I'd give him the opportunity. I'd certainly give him the opportunity. In RB, he says Andrews Pete. Kenneth says
Andrews Pete. Yes.
Pete was horrible. Kenneth is saying, I agree. Yinzer Joe says, I think quarterbacks like Stafford and Brady are proof that old quarterbacks can still play even if they aren't mobile. They bring a lot more attributes than just mobility. And it's up here. These guys that are Tom Brady was a fucking maniac. I mean, he was a genius. He never had all the talent. He wasn't the strongest guy, never the fastest, the biggest, anything. He knew how to win football games. He knew where to put the ball when it needed to happen.
And having the right system built for them too, once they get older, because their skill sets get limited, but like you said, they still have the arm talent going for me. And up here, so you build that offense around those two main attributes as they keep getting older. Hopefully the Steelers bring back Aaron Rodgers in the Mike McCarthy system. They can adjust it enough to where it fits what Aaron Rodgers can do right now.
Let me move on. Somber says, grab a swing tackle in the draft. Keegan Frost out of Missouri is my sleeper. Don't drink that. Corey says, that ghost. It's because the game planning is different. College teams have the luxury of rebuilding year in, year out, so the schemes are more vanilla across the board, so the football IQ isn't always high. And you got to remember, too, another thing that proves a guy like Brady is smart, he never had a great team around him. There was waves. One point he had Corey Dillon in the backfield. Another point he had Randy Moss. But for the most part, when he was winning all of his Super Bowls, this was with guys names Edelman and Amendola and guys like this. So again, it just when you got it, you got it. There is a factor, and again, Tom Brady had it, and he won more Super Bowls than anybody because of it.
They had a great offensive line. Always had like damn good offensive lines. And then players that could fit into whatever system they were running, like plug and play guys. Like, we're going to plop you right into this system. And you're like, who the hell is this guy? Oh, but he fits what we want to do.
Ben Hogan, let's put him in there. Super Bowl one.
Yeah, like, who the fuck's this guy? Lacrosse players. Okay. Guys who can fit a niche on my team and fit into the system. Like, that's what they had great up there, man, where it was a system where a lot of those guys could be interchangeable. We just want someone who can do this, or run quick little crossing routes and do something after the catch. Okay. And then every once in a while, like, Brady would stretch the field, because he really didn't have to stretch the field, because all the little crossing routes that worked well, but also had the ability to go deep. And it's, they had a great offensive system. And I think it doesn't get talked about a lot of how good it was, just because how good Brady was operating that system. And people want to say a system quarterback's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That means my guy found something that works and no one can stop it. He was a system quarterback, because that system that he ran was great. And then when he couldn't run that system anymore, what did they do? They changed the system to fit his new skill set as he got older. And hopefully Mike McCarthy can do that with Aaron Rodgers. So he doesn't have to be a dink and dunk like a dump off quarterback. Maybe design a system to where he can push the field down into those intermediate routes more often, so he can still use his pinpoint accuracy and his great anticipation.
Let me move on to the board. I'm seeing a little resistance. I can't wait to get to it. Let me scoot up here a little bit. I'm going to go to Somber says they brought in Kendrick Law today. He's a gadget guy. Also, RB says this Connor Hayward's best contribution was to be plowed from behind by large men. That's not hard to replace. F. Derpy would do it for free. Corey says this, so transition them to a complex system that only needs a quarterback, and that's where the talent fails, because your team is mostly built in just plugging them in. It takes 2 years in the NFL to build around a quarterback. Somber says, I like the IU tight end. Nowakowski. End of days, Cousins would be cheap.
But would he be an upgrade?
I mean, that's
the thing, though, right there. If he's an upgrade, it's a bonus that he's cheap. But just because he's cheap,
the guy could throw for a lot of yards.
He could throw. Yeah, I know, but I'd rather run it back with Aaron Rodgers again.
I mean, obviously, again, I think only because he's familiar. The guy already knows the system he's in. He knows the guys. Obviously, I think that's the best case scenario at this point. And again, all your other free agency options are basically down the river. There's only so many options coming in this draft. So again, it's just kind of what we're dealing with, like it or not. And again, at the end of the day, I just can't believe that the Steelers wouldn't know what's going on with Aaron. It's insane to me. Tyrone says that nose tackle day officially signed. He is all good in the hood. RB says they can't as long as Cuck Rooney has to have TJ around. So I shouldn't have said that though, because I'm just trying to get it clear. That was derogatory. So I probably
shit like that. Yeah, it's irksome and boring and annoying for me to have to read every day. Their people in their cuck fantasies and their fantasies is getting railed from behind. Yeah.
See, it's entertaining. It's guys. It's guy talk. That's the deal. It's guy. What do you talk about when you're with guys? I mean, this is what guys talk about. I don't know. Yinzer Joe said that's the biggest thing. Steelers are big on tradition, and that was running the 3-4 even when it was outdated. Let's go to Kenneth. Kenneth says many quarterbacks have some talent, but the mental game fearless in thought. But the mental game fearless in thought is what separate the elites. That's why Howard will succeed. Well, excuse me. William says this Steelers need to bring the nickel packages back and blitz different ways.
Well, maybe Jalen Ramsey flying in off the edge, a la what's his name in the Super Bowl. I'd like to see that. He blitzed a couple times last year, and they were effective.
Somber says we'll be running backwards through a cornfield until Aaron Rodgers is replaced. John says the Seahawks D would have had Rodgers' ass. He can't. No, you're right. Don't get me wrong. Anytime that we played a good defense, he was terrible. Green Bay, he didn't look good. And anybody that had good Cleveland, he didn't look good.
Yeah.
So anybody that has good defense, so at the end of the day, you got to shore up that line. I mean, your quarterback is, he's 43 years old coming in. Not like that's a secret. Not like you're looking out at your huddle going, well, hold on a moment. Our quarterback's 43 years old. This might not be good.
You saw it. We saw it, live and in Technicolor against the Texans. Guys would get to him, or even if they were just laying down at his feet, he couldn't handle that pressure. He didn't like it. He felt very uncomfortable, and if, he doesn't come back, let's go get someone less nimble in the pocket in Kirk Cousins, or is he just going to sit there and grip it and rip it? If that's the case, then maybe go with Cousins because he'll at least get rid of the ball instead of sit there and look and try and bitch at his offensive lineman while the play is going on.
We're talking about quarterbacks, guys. Out of 29 first-round quarterbacks that were drafted in the 2010s, only three of them are still active, Mike. That, of course, would be Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. So, again, people are talking about, go get Ty. He's going to be 29 of the first-round quarterbacks from the 2010s are gone.
Yeah.
Only the three most elite. And, again, if you're looking for that group of five elite quarterbacks at any given time, there's three of them right there. And again, it's tough to get, and you got to think that some of these windows might be closing. Certainly on Baltimore, I don't know if they're getting any better year to year. Yes, they bring in an injured Trey Hendrickson, Mike, who again doesn't scare me at all.
No, and that's really not a position they need. If I'm them, I would have been going after someone who can play in the middle of my defense. That's where the big hole is with Matabuke not knowing if he's ever going to play again. I would have gone after some wide receiver help as well. I like Zay Flowers, but if he's your one, it's not a good look. I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't get it at all. At one point, you had a dominant defense, then all of a sudden, from one year to the next, it's gone. What the fuck's going down there? Their window is closing very fast, and it looks like Buffalo's window might be closed fast too. They couldn't even make it to the Super Bowl when their arch nemesis didn't even make the playoffs. So the AFC is wide open too. And
and that's another reason that I don't think we're out of it. The AFC is wide open.
Yeah,
that was not a listen. The New England team that we beat ended up being the team in the Super Bowl.
And they didn't look like they belonged.
And it took us 5 turnovers to beat the team that didn't look like they belonged. But that's not the point. The point is we beat them, and there they were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So again, the AFC, in my opinion, is wide open. You just got to hope that the Chiefs don't get it together, because I'm sure once Patrick Mahomes gets healthy, he's going to be just fine. Because when Tom Brady went down with his injuries, Mike, he certainly came back and won plenty more Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Those guys are just those guys. They're going to be just fine. And I couldn't agree more, Ty. The AFC is wide open. Williams saying go get a couple safeties to help. Ty says I got faith in A-Rod with McCarthy, then Smith at OC, of course. Brady was 6'5". Robert said he was 6'5", and that's why I said he wasn't the biggest guy. That's not what I was saying. Yes, he was 6'5". That is very true, but that was not the point I was trying to make. Kenneth says I say go with Cook and get pregnant on Oregon tackle to set up our line for 10 years, maybe left tackle later. Ghost says this, chalk 3 of those Patriots Super Bowl to wins the cheating. I agree. Mm-hmm. Maybe more. Who knows? Who knows how much they cheated through all this? Let's see. Robert says the Patriots won a couple Super Bowls with very bad offensive lines. Brady got rid of the ball so fast that he made it work. When you have it, you have it.
Mm-hmm.
Somber says Sebastian Joseph Day says the Steelers roster in front line is on fire. He says he can play end, nose tackle, and move up and down the line. I don't put myself in the box. Ty saying that was a great pickup. Slay retired last year. The only team that is allowed to talk to him right now is the Philadelphia Eagles, actually.
Yep.
So that's what's going on with him.
I love how he got released, refused to go to the Bills, and then shows up at the sidelines of an Eagles game.
Yeah. Somber says Sebastian Joseph Day says he wants to pour into the young players the systems have on the defensive line. He has learned from Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers, Sue, and others.
Ooh, pass on that knowledge, please. Our young guys need it. Maybe pass it on to Cam Hayward too.
Somber says over his career, he's been a 2-time captain. Also, John says this Steeler freak. If in Rodgers' defense, Ben was a quick release quarterback at the end. Also, old guys don't like getting hit. Who would? You're right. Especially when you're basically coming back just to have a little bit of fun and to end your career out. It's not like, the guy don't need this. Mark Malone, always great seeing Mark Malone. He says we need to land Carson in the mids. Robert says with the team that drafted them, more of the quarterbacks from the 2010s are still in the NFL. Let's go to Don't Drink That Corey. He says it sounds like we've really beefed up our defense and filled a much needed receiver role. So laying our cards out, if you were GM, would you go with I'm tackling the left-hand side of the line and I'm getting another wide receiver. Because for one, yes, DK and Pittman are here for a few more years, but at the end of the day, they are going to be the old guys that are on their way out. Why not get somebody that you want to be involved in this wide receiver core for the next 5 years? That way, once them guys do hit the end, you're not back to running around like a chicken with your head cut off at that point. You have things in place. You have pieces moving. Again, don't fall into that same trap you did after Ben retired. We're still trying to make the ends meet on that. So again, I'm grabbing a really good wide receiver in this draft, whether it be first, second, or third. I'm getting a really good wide receiver, and I'm also getting a guard and tackle if need be. Those be the 3 positions that I think we need most.
No, I'm right there with you too, and beefing up the D line as well. Yeah, because Cam's not going to be here forever. Day's only going to be here for a couple of years. Then after that, you got Benton, Harmon, and Y.A. Black. I want more depth back there. I want some higher end talent. That's why I'm not opposed to going D-line somewhere in the 3rd round. You got 3 of those picks, man. If a guy's sitting there that you like, fucking snatch him up and keep building. Or linebackers as well. We need some more linebacker depth. We're going to lose Roman Wilson, Patrick Queen next year. We could potentially even lose not Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig. So linebackers, D-lines, don't be afraid to grab those positions too, man. Just keep building that roster and have that depth ready to go.
A couple of names that you just mentioned, Mike. Patrick Queen. They did give him his $2.5 million bonus the other day. Not very likely that he's going to be leaving anywhere after getting that particular $2.5 million bonus. I look for Patrick Queen to stay just right where he's at through this season until his contract's over. Could very easily see him moving after this season. And also, Mike, Nick Herbig, somebody that you mentioned could be on the move. Here's a little something for you. If you were still on the TJ Watt and Highsmith nuts at this point, Nick Herbig ranked number one. Number one means nobody did better. Nick Herbig ranked number one in the NFL for win rate percentage on pass rush attempts, guys, ahead of the likes of Micah Parsons, Will Anderson Jr., Smiles Garrett, Crosby, Hutchinson, Hunter. Nick Herbig, number one. If there's any debate whether you should pay this guy and keep him around and maybe start to figure out what you might want to do with these veterans that are aging and getting paid a lot of money and putting up less results than this gentleman, you might want to get your head checked if you think that he should be moving. Because, again, performance-wise, Mike, he's outperforming both of those guys who make mountains of money more than he does.
Yeah, and they need to figure out what they're going to do there. Because he already said he doesn't want to re-sign if he's not going to be a starter. And I don't blame him for when he is outproducing both the starters and with less snaps than both of them. He's got to be out there more this year. They got to find a huge role for him because otherwise you're going to lose him in free agency unless they franchise tag him. And that's going to be, you're going to pay 3 guys over $20 million a year as edge rushers. That's might be the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. So one of them has to go. And you know Watt's not going to go. And if you let Herbig go to keep Watt and Highsmith, that might be one of the dumbest decisions this franchise ever made.
I agree. That's just, again, quarterback one money. You're going to wonder why we can't pay quarterback one. Maybe wonder why.
That's why we can't go get.
Maybe wonder why we didn't get a Sam Darnold last year, the guy that went on to win the Super Bowl after winning 14 games with Minnesota, that never wins a lot of football. Because the guy on defense that got 7 sacks, a number less than Nick Herbig. We had to pay him while he stood on the sideline at the most important time of the year, at the end of the year last year. So, again, call me crazy for thinking that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if TJ did go down the road just to clear up some of that quarterback one money that we just don't have to give a quarterback one. So maybe things are playing out the way they are. Maybe this is why things are the way they are, guys. We're going through this because we don't have money to bring in that free agency and pay him a whole shitload of money because, again, TJ Watt still has to underperform and get all that money. So, at the end of the day, there's gonna have to be hard decisions made.
Yeah, and if Aaron Rodgers didn't come here and play for $13 million last year, who would have been our starting quarterback? Mason Rudolph?
He thought last year was bad. He thought 10-7 in a playoff appearance was bad. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much could be fixed with that money?
Yeah, and the only reason you pay someone that money is because you hope the quarterback that you drafted or were going to draft would be your franchise, and because you don't have to pay them that quarterback one money, you can spread that to someone else or spread it around the roster. But now you don't, none of your young quarterbacks hit, none of the reclamation projects worked. Your 49-year-old veteran quarterback that you brought in, failed to produce in the playoffs and fails to produce against playoff teams. That trickle-down effect from that huge contract, is setting the franchise back.
Let's get to right here where Somber says the mix between COVID quarterbacks, NIL, and the portal have made it impossible to develop quarterbacks, in my opinion. It's tough out there. You ain't kidding, man.
And a lot of these quarterbacks with the NIL going back in and getting that money, but still those universities and those coaching staffs aren't developing them for the next level. It's just, okay, I got you here again. I was going to keep you in for my system and then move on. So even those older quarterbacks are coming out, they're still not pro ready. Whereas you would hope if you're coming out as a 24, 25-year-old rookie quarterback, you'd be able to be plopped right in and run at a high level, and they're not.
John says, I bitch about the Steelers, but the Ravens and Bills are in worse shape. Their fans believe the team will win and won't. I'm sorry. I know the Steelers won't right now. Let's go to Kenneth. He says, mobility is necessity. Mobility is necessary. I'm sorry, in the playoffs. Darnold ran when he needed to, and again, a lot of this comes back to. I mean, you got to tackle this offensive line. I mean, it goes such a long way, you know. People say, "Well, you won the Super Bowl in 05 with a bad line," but Ben wasn't 50 years old either.
And you had a damn good defense too.
Williams says this, get tougher nose guard. Tyrone says we got Brisker on a steal, a 1 year, 5.5, wild. Let's go to Tyrone. I'm sorry, John. John says 58-21. That is what Rodgers doesn't have anymore. Also, Tyrone says, shaking my head. Only thing I'm mad about is Omar PQ. Why? I just think that that's easy right now, Ty. I just think that again, creating a whole nother hole. I mean, we've had issues that have been lingering, and I mean when I say lingering, I mean lingering. Like drafting Broderick Jones 4 or 5 years ago, that's been a lingering problem ever since. We have to fix the line. Obviously, the quarterback is a lingering problem that's been around since the end of Ben's tenure. So, I mean, I think they're trying to get to some of these really important lingering problems that we've had over the past 6-7 years. And I don't think Patrick Queen falls into that category. Yes, he misses a lot of tackles. Yes, this should be addressed. Yes, he should probably be moved along. I just think that this isn't the time just yet. Maybe next year. Again, he has 1 year on his contract. I'm pretty confident, Mike, that they let that contract go all the whole way through with Patrick.
Yeah, he won't be back next year, and that's why it wouldn't surprise me if they do draft a linebacker somewhere in this draft. Because I think you do got to improve the middle linebacker depth behind him and behind Peyton Wilson. Even though you brought back Cole Holcomb, we still have Malik Harrison on there. But if you can upgrade over Malik Harrison, go ahead and do it in the draft, or have that way you can have that guy ready to take Patrick Queen's spot next year when he walks in free agency. And I'm right there with you, Ryan. Like we've been saying on the show, you're not going to trade him. You're not going to trade Pat Freiermuth because all you're doing is you're creating holes. And you got to hope the guy you get back is going to at least give you that same level of production. And by the time you're going to draft those guys in the draft, they're not going to be high-end draft picks plugging into that spot. They're not going to be high-end free agents plugging into that spot. So kind of going to lose production by trading those guys. So yeah, it does not surprise me that his roster bonus was given and he is here because you don't want to make holes in the roster at this point.
Let's look at what Mark Malone has a good question. What if someone offered us a first rounder for Herbig? In my opinion, you have a molded. Listen, this guy is in perfect position to take over one of those outside linebacker positions. Mm-hmm. You don't have to train him. You don't have to mold him anymore. The guy, he has the wheels that you like. He's shown you results that you like. And again, he had more sacks last year than the guy that's getting paid quarterback one money. I think he is that first rounder. I think that you should trade somebody. Somebody else should be getting him. Because at the end of the day, Mike, he wasn't a first rounder, but he certainly built himself up. What if we trade for a first rounder, get him, and that person doesn't build themselves up? You know what you have with Herbig. He's still on the rookie contract. Again, I can't imagine giving Herbig up at this point because what's that going to do? Maybe prolong TJ and maybe into his mid to late 30s at that point when the contract's over. It's going to encourage us to say, well, let's give more money to TJ. Let's keep him around another 3 years. At the end of the day, everyone loves him. I get that. But at the end of the day, he had less sacks, Mike, with quarterback money than Nick Herbig did last year. That kind of means something in a lot of different directions, in my opinion.
If it's a pick in the top 10, I'm considering it big time, but I that's the only way I would do it. But no, I'm not going to trade him unless it's like a top 10 pick because of what I'm doing in the offseason. I'm going to franchise his ass. I'm going to jettison Highsmith and then go that route and be like, hey, look, you're franchised for this year. Do you want to stay here and negotiate a long-term contract or not? Yeah. First round pick, if you whiff on it, you can be screwed right there. You never know with these draft picks, but you know what you're getting out of Nick Herbig. And see where his career path is projecting to be. I'm not letting him walk out the door.
Let's see. Tyrone says I'd trade Highsmith out of any of them.
Again, it's like with their injuries, all of them miss time. A game here, a game there.
And again, you got to remember, guys, quarterback one money could solve a lot of problems. It's not just go out and get a quarterback one. It can be used in many different ways.
Yeah.
And again, if this guy that's getting paid quarterback one money gets 7 sacks and isn't there at the most important part of the end of the season, why wouldn't you consider making that move again? What is really being accomplished? Is it winning us anything by having TJ on this defense at this point? People run right at him. So at the end of the day,
Yep. And with Highsmith is the most logical one to go because next year his dead cap space is 5.6 million, cap hit at 21 million. So you can cut him next year and you're going to free up even more money. So he's the guy that's going to go. They're going to do everything they can to keep Herbert. At least they should.
Aaron J says, here we go. Got the Rockets, Mike. Got the week started. I love it. Also, Mark Malone saying, Dunker, you got to get Dunker, man. You need that guard. You need the little mullet, the redheaded mullet running around. Dunker's the answer. Mark Malone keeps saying, Mike.
If he can play, I love him because he has the look. He has the look of an
but
AFC
the
North
look shouldn't mean anything, Mike. That's why I'm a piece of shit. But
you're a fucking moron.
I am a moron.
You take so much shit out of context.
I don't. Going by the way somebody looks should not have anything to do with anything from what I learned earlier. Let's move on. Yeah. Tyrone says we signed officially Brisker welcome. And the thing was, you called me a piece of shit. I've never called anybody I've respected that ever in my life. That's what really hurt me. That hurt. I thought we were friends.
You know, I don't think you're a piece of shit.
I just again.
If I didn't like you, I wouldn't call you that.
I've never called anybody that in my life that I respected ever. Yeah, it's just me. Let's move on though. Robert says no offense to Herbig. If someone offered a first round pick for him, you have to take it. I would then use it to acquire a first round in 2027 draft to use or ammo to trade up for a franchise quarterback, which is ultimately the plan. And I think ultimately, Robert, this is what we've been hoping for about 5 years. Get that first round quarterback, but every year it's like a mirage. You remember the cartoons when they're in the desert and they're hot and they're sweating and they see a pop machine sitting up on a dune and they crawl to it and they're sweating and they get to it and it's gone. That's almost what this draft thing has been like with us for 5 years. We're gonna get our quarterback. Guess what? There's no quarterbacks even worth getting. We're gonna get a quarterback, and then like this year, there's one. And again, we're not even sure that Mendoza is going to pan out to be what he's supposed to be. He's going to the Raiders, so I could pretty much, if I was gambling, and I'm not a gambler, I would say that it's not going to work because it's the Raiders and things never work there. But again, it's been a mirage with the draft year after year after year. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. He says mobility isn't a necessity. It's been proven. It's just easier to feel comfortable with a young, strong, and mobile quarterback for coaches and fans to feel good about that position. Robert says this: there is mobility and there is pocket mobility. They are two totally different things. Some quarterbacks know how to move within the pocket while the other runs into sacks. Tyrone says I'd trade Highsmith for a second and a fourth next year.
I would go running to a team if they gave up a second and a fourth for Highsmith. I'd drive him to the airport.
Tyrone says I think TJ bounced back. Now, I mean, he better because the money we're paying him. He has no choice. He has to bounce back and have a killer season. Otherwise, it's just another year of throwing quarterback one money out the window. If he gets 7 sacks or less. Robert says Fields has great mobility, but no pocket awareness, slow to see the whole field, and takes a ton of sacks. Corey says, this is my dream scenario that will never happen is that we trade TJ, our first and a third round pick for Las Vegas's first round pick. We get Mendoza and Aaron grooms him for next year. So unobtainable, but so ideal. Laugh my ass off. Mark Malone says Beck and Dunker are exceptions. Those guys looks make them must-haves.
Carson Beck looking at the both sidelines at the same time.
Mark Malone, he says this: we will win the game when they step off the bus. John says don't take the bait, Mike.
But it's fun when I take the bait.
Also, Mark, I do want to say welcome to Mark. Also, Mark on the board, he says if Aaron Rodgers was in the draft room and had a say, he would declare, "Get me professional offensive linemen, not kids willing to learn." Couldn't agree more. Let's look at this list, Mike. It was an eventful week last week, of course, with free agency. The free agency frenzy. It didn't disappoint as Monday, whenever it kicked off at noon last week, just a little over a week away, Mike. But you know what? With all those moves, let me talk about this first. I do want to say this, that these are some key free agency pickups by the Steelers over the past 10, 12 years or so, give or take. Guys, back in 2014. So, I mean, a lot of, and the point I'm trying to make is what Omar Khan has been cooking. People say, are you happy with what he's done? Are you happy with what the GM is doing? Are you happy with the offseason, free agency, drafts? Let me give you a little idea of how we probably should be happy. This is what the free agency big splash pickups for the Steelers have been since 2014. Here we go.
It's just going to be a murderer's row or what?
It's interesting. 2014, Mike LeGarrette Blount and also Lance Moore. Lance Moore were the big pickups in free agency in 2014.
Blount was a good pickup.
Let's go to right here. D'Angelo Williams, Mike, in 2015. D'Angelo Williams was the big splash pickup for the Steelers in
serviceable
2015. In 2016, the big splash pickup for the Steelers in free agency was Ladarius Green. Ladarius Green at the draft. I'm sorry, at the free agency. My bad. Also, right here, 2017. I didn't hate this one. I didn't hate this one, Mike. The big move in free agency in 2017 was Tyson Alualu.
I think that was a nice pickup.
I agree.
I like that one.
2018, John Bostic. John Bostic. Big move in 2018. 2019, Steven Nelson. All right, I like Steven Nelson.
That was a really good pickup.
Free agency 2019, Mark Barron and Dante Moncrief. Yeah, Dante Moncrief. There you go, everybody. So again, do I like the moves? Do I like what Omar Khan has been doing lately? I do. We'll get to more. We'll get to that in a moment here. Let's see, 2021, Miles Killebrew. All right, that was fair.
Yeah.
Mike, 2022, Mitch Trubisky, James Daniels, Mason Cole, and Miles Jack.
James Daniels was a home run. To be honest with you, that year he was like rated as one of the highest guards in the NFL.
2023, Pat Pete.
Swing and a miss.
2025, last year, Kenneth Gainwell, Metcalf via trade. This year, Mike Pittman, Dean, Brisker, Dowdle. So again, am I happy with what Omar Khan has been doing the past few years since he's been involved in this whole draft process? Of course, I mean, who knows how much influence comes from the top and around. But at the end of the day, Mike, it's been a long ways from the John Bostic being your splash move on free agency. Again, the past couple of years, some of these names I would have never even imagined prior to this to have on our team, like the DK Metcalfs, the Michael Pittman Juniors. Even I mean, you got to be happy as a Steeler fan that we're finally kind of catching up with the rest of the league in that sense, where it's not a surprise that if the Steelers might get some talent. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I like it. And Omar's had some misses, but he's had some good hits in there as well. And this one is shaping up to be the best of the bunch. And with a couple solid draft classes too, and the foundation built there, and filling in holes this way to make the draft the best player available, I'm liking it. I'm liking what's transpired, and it seems like him and Weedle are getting better as the years go on. Like they're hitting their stride. I'm liking it.
Also, Mike, this is the most teams with the most draft picks, of course, guys. 38 days away from the NFL draft, right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh Steelers lead the way. Nobody has more picks than the Pittsburgh Steelers in the NFL draft with 12. 3 teams have 11. That would be the Baltimore Ravens, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the New England Patriots. They all come into the draft with 11 picks. The Raiders next with 10 picks. And, Mike, a handful of teams with 9, the Browns, the Broncos, the Lions, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Jets, the Eagles, the Titans. Whole bunch of teams got 9, and that rounds out the top 10 to 15. Mike. But that's a lot of picks for the top 10 teams. Geez, 12, 11, 11, 11, 10, a whole shitload
Yeah.
of nines.
Oh yeah, and I expect those teams to trade, move up in the draft a lot. Unless I'm the Raiders. If I'm the Raiders, I'm using all my draft picks just because of how bad my team is. But if I'm the Steelers, I'm packaging picks to move forward. Maybe sending picks back to next year to get more picks next year. If you don't like what's sitting there when it's your time to go, well, I don't expect us to make 12 picks. Do you see 12 rookies making this roster? I don't.
Absolutely not. No.
No. I can see them trying to sneak a lower round guys on the roster on practice squad, but with 5 picks in the top 100, those got to hit. Maybe move up into the second round. Get a first round pick. Have your second round pick. Use a couple of your thirds and fours to move up and get another second round pick to get a better quality player in that spot. Do a first, 2 seconds, and a guy in the third. 4 picks in the top 100. I like that. I'd be very comfortable with that draft right there. So the Steelers have so much flexibility, dude. It's going to be a fun day.
Let's wrap up the week of the free agency frenzy, Mike. Let's go over the people that we did sign.
Yes.
Let's go over the people that we did get rid of. And as I say, and we were mentioning earlier, the free agency doesn't end. I mean, there's still a possibility you wake up and we're going to grab a guard or a tackle or something prior to the draft. But again, 38 days until that, guys. The offseason transactions, of course, Michael Pittman Jr. being the biggest one via trade. Jamel Dean, cornerback from Tampa Bay. Rico Dowdle from Carolina. Mike, we re-signed Cole Holcomb. We re-signed Asante Samuel Jr. And we re-signed Automu. And we re-signed Jack Driscoll, Mike, the offensive lineman, who was with our practice squad.
Yeah.
And went back and forth between Philly and here. We re-signed him. Cameron Johnston, Bill Burr, of course, the punter. He is brought back. Darnell Savage brought in Mike Jaquan Brisker, brought in, and the latest one was Sebastian Joseph Day. Mike, to me, it looks like a lot of these again, and I don't want to keep saying it to get people excited, but it really does seem like a lot of these moves are upgrades. Love what Kenneth Gainwell did, but not too many people seems like they're too upset about Rico coming to town.
Yeah, I think that's an upgrade right there because what the production that Kenny Gainwell gave you, I think that can switch on over into Jalen Warren, and then Dwaddle will be the number 1 back, and that's going to be a great backfield. I mean, I love every move that we made. And quick little plug for the website here. It actually worked out perfect because I had an article I just published today about the free agent signings. I had it in the draft, so I put it up today. I don't have the most recent signing of Sebastian Day in there, but check it out at the2dumyinzers.com because it fits perfectly with what we're talking right now. So check that out after the show, everyone. But yeah, I'm loving our moves in free agency. Every guy we brought in has improved every position room. It's just you finally have our long lost a wide receiver too. We finally have a legit tandem at corner. We're the safety room has rounded out. D line is getting better. This has been a great start to the offseason for the Steelers, man. And you can't be disappointed in what they did.
And let me throw out the names that we lost, Mike, and we're gonna compare and contrast because again, at the end of the day, I think we made out. Let's talk about the guys we lost. We lost Calvin Austin, of course. He goes to the Giants.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that. Kenneth Gainwell, yes, for what he was, Mike, last year, it was a big thing. It was a big thing, but at the end of the day, bringing in Rico and again, I don't feel that we lost anything on this, Mike, so as of right now. So next on the list, Connor Hayward. Now he's my and listen, Meatwad is one of the people that we made fun of most over the years. But at the end of the day, Mike, I really found him to be valuable for just a lot of those little gritty things along the way, things that you don't even put a lot of focus on in practice. It's things that again you do once or twice, and I really feel like we lost something with Meatwad there, Mike. And again, he's a baller. The guy is a football player. at the end of the day. And you know that about him. He's just, he's nothing great, but he is a good, scrappy, solid football player. I think we lost something with that. It's not going to change our season. It's not going to make us or break us. But at the end of the day, if you're talking about who you're disappointed most about losing, he is mine, Mike. Surprise, surprise, actually. But Connor Hayward is my guy that I felt that I didn't want to lose the most. But let me continue on the list. Miles Killebrew, of course, he goes to Tampa Bay. Our special teams captain for years. I think that that's easily made up, Mike. I think that you make that up pretty quick on your team. But taking Connor and Killebrew out of special teams. See, I don't think losing one of them is the worst thing ever, but you're taking two pretty damn good special team players out.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll be replaced in the draft in the later rounds. But like you said, man, like they were two key special teams guys, but I think we can survive.
I do too. Let's go to the next guy on the list. The next guy, of course, being James Pierre. Mike, he goes to the Vikings. I'm okay with that for a couple of reasons.
Yes.
Because he's another one that was a small dose of playing really good football. Last year, he really came on.
Yeah.
So, again, you don't know if you're going to get encore. He's been around for a few seasons. Last year, he just came on and started getting that recognition. However, we were able to make the signings that we made in the secondary, which makes that out of question, out of mind, out of sight. I don't even worry about what's going on with James Pierre anymore, Mike, because we did so much work on our secondary just in free agency alone.
Yeah, re-signing Asante Samuel Jr. and bringing in Jamel Dean, that more than makes up for the loss of James Pierre, who did come on great, and he's following his position coach that he played the best for. So smart move all around for him and for the Steelers right there. I hope he plays well, man. I always liked him when he was called upon. He, did what he could do, and he got better every year here with the Steelers, man. And it's nice to see that too.
One thing I want to say about there's nobody. Sometimes you're happy to see a guy go. I'm looking at all these guys, and there's nobody that I don't wish has great careers moving forward. I mean, none of these people were trouble. None of these people ever caused us problems. Last person on this list, Mike, is Isaac Ciamalo. The writing was on the wall. He was ready to move on, ready to play elsewhere. He wants to go to somewhere that wants to win, Mike, apparently, and he ends up in Arizona. So I don't know. But again, at the end of the day, we didn't upgrade here yet.
That's still the spot right there, unless they're thinking, hey, Spencer Anderson can fill that spot right there. This is screaming like we're taking someone in the first, second, or third rounds to play guard for us. That's what that screams to me, because unless they pick one of these guys up that's sitting there, but that one right there, I'm okay with him going away because he wasn't who he was when he was here at the beginning of his contract.
Right.
You can see the injuries are starting to take a wear and tear on his body. So him going to Arizona is the right thing for him and for us. He gets paid starter money, gets to be a starter, and we don't have to worry about another guy who's injury prone.
Let me grab a couple messages, Mike. We got quite a few cool things we're going to get into here. I got some comparisons that you might like just in just a moment, but let's get caught up on the board if we can. Tyrone says we signed officially Brisker. Welcome home to Jaquan Brisker from Gateway High School and of course Penn State alum coming back to the Berg. Mike, Robert says no offense to Herbig, if someone offered a first round to pick for a pick for him, you would have to take it. I would then use it to acquire a first in the 2027 draft. Okay, we actually did get that one. Let's move forward here a little bit. I think we got the mobility one as well. Let's grab let's go right here. I think we even got all the way up past Mendoza. Mark Malone's Becker and Dunker exceptions. Those guys, looks make them must-haves. Also, Steeler Freak says, okay, so yeah, we did get one.
We are at Beck's Sloth of Ice Age.
Yeah, there it is.
There we are. That's where we're at.
Tyrone
I knew I had it queued up.
Beck's Sloth of Ice Age. Also, End of Day says Mark Malone was a terrible QB.
Blasphemy. That's blasphemy.
Steel Loyal, he says, I'm late, but I survived a tornado. Man, it was crazy.
Jesus.
Crazy weather, man. I hope you're all right. Heavy winds certainly here over the weekend. People were out over 24 hours without power.
Yeah.
Go to Mark right here. Mark Bonasorte. Just not to get him confused with Mark Malone. Mark Bonasorte says, if I were Aaron, I would wait until the draft gave me an indication or of whether I will be playing hurt or unhurt. Jamal, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Jamal, my man. He says, "What I missed? Sorry, I'm late. Gang, bro. You're good.
This is a
Always,
typical Vanilla Thunder crash out over something stupid.
always great to see you, my man. As always, Squeege, also welcome back to the show. Squeege says, D'Angelo Williams. I was upset at how he was underutilized when Bell was go-to. D'Angelo never saw the field, but when Bell was out, D'Angelo was number one in the league for a couple of weeks.
No, he was a beast. That was a great pickup for that whole Le'Veon Bell situation.
That team was so confusing. Because they had the ability to be such a good team and so competitive, and they just fell apart at the wrong times. Unfortunately, I would love to have one of those years back, to have Bell and Brown and Ben all back, or one more year.
One more year, all healthy, all on the same page, all ready to go.
Tyrone says, "Damn, this is the best offseason free agency easy," he says. And we grade high amongst in the NFL. I think the top, if not the top, one of the top three teams for this grades for free agency this year. Let's go to Corey. Corey at Don't Drink That says, Moncrief couldn't catch a missile to the face if he had a lock on him. He was
wow.
He falls into that category, right? There's just some guys that aren't going to get it done for you. And I think bringing in MVS last year, he falls in that category as well. Sometimes you just have to get a body, and that's what these guys seem to be. Let's go to Jamal. He says, see how it works out. Just hope we go in wide receiver number 1. And it's a very good possibility. Again, wide receivers, Mike, and I think offensive linemen are the high picks this year.
Yeah, I think so too. And
at the end of the day, we wanted a quarterback high, and it ends up being
hey, we'll take another fucking offensive lineman. Hell yeah, brother. Or wide receiver, man. I hope one of the guys falls to us, so we take them and just make that offense more potent.
Absolutely, we got to. You got to keep adding when you can.
Exactly.
As Cody says, rest in retirement. Rest when you die. Rest when you're dead. Let's go to Robert right here. Robert saying Mark Malone beat the Broncos in the playoffs on the road at Old Mile High Stadium in '84. 9-7 Steelers, 24-17 over the 13-3 Broncos. Mark Malone says it was a great day.
It was a glorious day.
It was a glorious day. Robert says, yes, it was. Cody says, watch the Panthers are going to go 13-4 with their basic ass picks. LOL. They're going to be the most underrated team. And you know what? They really picked it up last year. Wouldn't surprise me if the Panthers win a lot of games. Also, Mike, we get that division. So we get the Souths this year. We get the NFC South, the Tampa Bays, where a couple of our guys go. Danny Smith, of course, this Carolina team. We get Dowdle. So there's going to be some revenge games coming up this year with those South divisions.
And I like the way the Panthers have been building their team.
Absolutely.
Who would have thought that little midget down there would be playing well?
Speaking of little midget, what's the who's the midget? The he's on something now. He's famous. That midget. You know who I'm talking about.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. Did you see the meme where Peter Dinklage was standing next to Kyler Murray? And Kyler Murray came up to like his stomach. He's like, I think this is going to be a really good year. And it's Peter Dinklage standing there towering over him.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is exactly who it was. Peter Dinklage. Let's go to end of day. So far, Con has done okay. The Steelers need to draft a quarterback in the second round. In my opinion on that end of days is, I mean, if you do get that quarterback, what are we doing? Are we stacking backup quarterbacks? Are we going to have Will Howard? Are we going to have Ty Simpson? And then next year when the good quarterbacks come out, are we going to go after somebody, when it makes sense? I just don't know what getting a quarterback this year is going to do unless that's the plan. I mean, you're getting into Cleveland Browns territory here by drafting all these quarterbacks every year. But again, who knows? Maybe that's the plan.
I hope not. I'm just not in love with any of these quarterbacks.
Neither am I. Neither am I. Let's go to There we go, right here. I'm going to go to Steel Loyal. He says, I'm so glad some of y'all ain't our GMs. Also, Robert says this, half of those dump offs to Gainwell may go to the wide. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It wasn't because it was a great designed offense that Gainwell. It was because we had to bail out so many times, and he had to bail us out. And, just taking time to have your guys run patterns, run their routes. It wasn't happening. Rodgers had to get rid of the ball. So again, other things should fix that. And again, that's why I don't think the Kenneth Gainwell loss is so big, Mike, because if we are going to improve and we do get some protection and we do have some talent on the outsides, that kind of production isn't going to be necessary to where it was last year, where it basically carried us throughout the duration of the season because we just weren't able to do those other things.
Yeah, I think so too. And, my God, maybe some of those dump offs will go to a tight end running a shallow cross across the middle who can pick up some yardage too. That would be nice to see.
Yeah. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. I'd like to see Roman Wilson with a new drafted receiver get a lot of work. Mark Malone, Dowdle, and Warren is going to be one hell of a 1-2. I agree. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these two guys. Steel Loyal says, I'm going to miss Calvin the most, I think. You know what? And the thing about Calvin, though, Mike, it was almost like we enjoyed him mostly when we drafted him because we knew the Ravens wanted him.
Yeah.
And this is why I enjoyed him most early. And then you thought, okay, he's a little guy, but he's a speedster. He's going to make some things happen. And through the course of his career, he did have little spurts, Mike, where I remember, a big touchdown right up the middle, a pass that he caught, burn everybody. For what he was, you certainly didn't get it to the extent that you would like to have gotten it with Calvin Austin III. Yeah. Again, I want to see the guy do well. I just don't know if does he have it? Does the guy have what it takes to be a playmaking wide receiver in the NFL?
I think he was used out of position here. We wanted him to be the number 2 when he's more that number 3, number 4, move him around the formation kind of guy. And I think that's where he's going to be used in New York. I think he's going to play well up there. But in here, every year that he was here, he was used out of where he should be. And just based on, because we didn't have a number 2 receiver, he was used in the wrong spots. And I don't think we had an offensive coordinator that actually knew how to use him effectively game in and game out. Now, he has ability. You can see him when he burns some of these corners on those routes. He has that route running ability, and you start using him on your third corner, fourth corner. He can open up an offense for an offense coordinator, quarterback. There's use for him. It's just he was just never utilized correctly here, and I think he has the ability to be a very, very good, effective number 3 wide receiver, number 4 receiver in the NFL.
Speaking of receivers, guys, a lot of talk about our new addition, Mike and Michael Pittman Jr. Of course, we haven't had a number 2 wide receiver for a couple seasons, but these numbers, excuse me, sorry. This is between the 2025 performance of Michael Pittman Jr. and the 2024 performance of George Pickens, Mike. The last time he was the number 1 receiver here in Pittsburgh, and neither one of these guys had great quarterback performances. Yeah. Some people might say Danny Dimes was good earlier in the year, but let's look at what Michael Pittman Jr. did last year as a number 2 compared to what George Pickens did in 2024 here as a number 1. And again, remember, neither one had great quarterback options. Targets, last year, Michael Pittman Jr., 111 and 103 targets to George Pickens. He was the number 1 receiver that particular year. So let's just move on. Receptions, 80 for Pittman last year, 59 for the number 1 receiver Pickens in 24. Also, receiving yards, Pickens did beat him in this one, Mike. Not a lot in this chart, but he did beat him in this. Receiving yards, Pickens had 900, and of course, Michael Pittman Jr. had 784 last year. Receiving touchdowns last year, 7 for Pittman, 3 for Pickens in his last year with Pittsburgh. First downs, Pittman 47, Pickens 41. Catch rate 72.1 for Pittman, 57.3 for Pickens, and catches per game 4.6 for Pittman, 4.2 for Pickens. Mike, he is somewhat similar to what the number 1 receiver from 2 seasons ago did here as the number 2 in Indianapolis last year.
Yeah, I like that, man. I think he's going to fit in well here. Not as dynamic as George is, like, running down past guys and those crazy catches, but a much more dependable player, much more dependable professional receiver, and a guy who's not afraid to do the dirty work too. George was never afraid to go across the middle, but Michael Pittman's more of that hard nose type player all around. I like it. I wish we had like George Pickens now the way he's playing down in Dallas, but give me Michael Pittman opposite DK Metcalf. I like this room right here. You get another receiver or two in the draft to fill out the room, fill out the roles. I think it's going to be a fun offense, and Michael Pittman's going to be a huge, huge part of it offensively, man. Because you really don't have a receiver you can double team now.
And you got to say that I think that Michael Pittman is excited to be here, Mike. He was in Uganda when he got the phone call saying that the move was happening and he was coming to Pittsburgh. Mike, he immediately leaves Uganda. I mean, I'm sure he was thinking of excuses on getting the hell out of there in the first place, but he gets his phone call, Mike, leaves Uganda on his way back home to address and meet with his new team, his new employer, his new teammates and such. Mike leaves Uganda in a hurry after hearing that he's becoming a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Nice little vacation spot. What's tucked away there?
I think a lot of animals that could kill you, actually. But hey,
right? Like I would never go to a country where there's a lot of animals that can kill me. That's why I don't visit anywhere in the South. That's why I would never go to Australia.
Here it is, Mike. Let's see. He cut his trip 6 days short. 6 days short to get to Pittsburgh. His flight path to get back to get from Uganda to Ethiopia to Azerbaijan to New York City to Pittsburgh. Mike, very excited to get to the Berg after hearing the news.
That's a roundabout way to go from Indy to Pittsburgh. Most people take a direct flight.
No, he was in.
I know. I was making a joke.
Oh. But that was the whole point, was he was in Uganda.
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke. Okay. I'll hang my head in shame.
Let's see, when Tortilla says when Vanilla crashes out, I pull my cash out. I do want to say welcome. Thank you so much for the super chat, as always, Tortilla, my man.
I think Tortilla cracked the code on why I crash out.
There you go. Guys, you want to talk about just some success? You know how the Raiders, we just made a point about saying how Mendoza, no matter what's going to happen, they're going to stink. Listen to this. You thought we had bad luck in the past. Mike, in 2002, the Raiders with their first picked Napoleon Harris when the next pick was Ed Reed. In 2004, what the Raiders did, Mike, with their first pick, Robert Gallery, the very next pick was Larry Fitzgerald. 2005, Fabian Washington was the Raiders pick. The very next pick was Aaron Rodgers. 2007, Jamarcus Russell, you remember that? The very next pick, Calvin Johnson. And finally, Mike, in 2010, they traded away the pick which New England used to draft Gronk back in 2010. Just some notable moments from the Raiders in their drafting luck. And again, Mike, you just throw that in with the fact that Mendoza. Just watch. The Raiders are going to be funny. They're going to be fun.
Like, and the funny part, like that Robert Gallery pick, because I remember that draft. Like, he was like coming out, hyped up to be, one of the greatest left tackles of all time. You're gonna, set your offensive line for years to come. But also Larry Fitzgerald was a great fucking prospect too. So there was like a corn flip. Do you want to, add a skill position player, do the smart thing and build up your O line? Only the Raiders could, get a surefire future Hall of Famer left tackle, and he flames out within like 2 to 3 years.
Also, I do want to say these couple of things, Mike. I want to jump back to Pittman real quick because I missed this note. Mike, when he was talking about making that trip back from Uganda, he said that he's fired up. He's fired up to play for Pittsburgh. He's to join the gritty Steelers. Pittsburgh is my style of football. Michael Pittman, welcome. We need you just as much as you love this situation.
I fucking love
Please
it.
come in and play wide receiver too well, because we have some catching up to do, Mike. We have a couple years to make up from not having a wide receiver too. So let's use them. Let's
Oh, I'm excited to see him play here. The dude is a tough, hard-nosed player. Remember when like Minka tried to decapitate him, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Minka's a dirty player," and he was like, "Nah, man, it was a good football play."
Yeah.
I fucking love players like that.
And one thing I also do like to say, Mike, the Steelers' identity, you got to say this is the close the Steelers are coming to building an identity in quite some time. Like the size of these players on this offense, it's going to be, again, DK, Michael Pittman Jr., Muth, Washington. These are giants. These are all big freaking guys. And then throwing Rico Dowdle in the backfield, Mike, he's a little physical beast. So again, maybe this is what Mike McCarthy and company are trying to do. They're trying to create an identity, and if they are, it's looking nice at this point, Mike. We'll see what we do with the offensive line. We'll see what we do with that other wide receiver spot, more than likely in the draft early. But again, Mike, 38 days from right now, the NFL draft is going to be kicking off right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You're right, Mark. Mark Malone saying we got some brutes.
Yeah.
And again, if we could just go out, and I think this is what they ultimately wanted to do a couple years back. They wanted to go out and beat people up in a sense. Like a lot of talk about the interior line, a lot of talk about the offensive line, the defensive line. I think those things are finally starting to come into fruition for the most sense. Of course, we're still working on the lines, but at the end of the day, being physical, being the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think was always the goal. I think now it's kind of sort of coming into picture, and as I said, for the size of these guys, when Steel Loyal saying it's a basketball lineup for how tall these guys are. Feel bad for those 5'10" corners and safeties out there.
Oh, exactly, man. They want to play some physical football, and that's kind of what Randy's been preaching for years, is getting back to being hard-nosed physical football, and that's what we've been doing, and definitely now with these big-bodied receivers that we have on the outside, and then the tight ends too, man. Especially looking at you, Darnell Washington, a beast. And like, real quick, looking at receivers drafted by Mike McCarthy teams, everyone, all but one player was over 6 feet tall. And the shortest one, lightest one, was Greg Jennings. He was 5'11", $197. Not actually a small guy. So outside chance that Mekhi Lemon in the first round, if he falls, fits what the mold they're looking for. But look for more of those bigger body guys, like if Jordan Tyson falls, if Omar Cooper Jr. sitting there, if Denzel Boston sitting there. Those are the type of receivers that Mike McCarthy is going to look for, big physical receivers.
All right, let's get back on the board, guys. I don't want to leave anybody out. Let's get to Mike, right where we were. I think I'm pretty close. I'm going to go to. I know we didn't get this just because I didn't see this name before. Will Ferrell is in this comment. Still Loyal says that's on par with Will Ferrell's Samurai Sword signed by. Okay, you know what I think I missed, because
you're gonna not get Randy Jackson's autograph.
Hold on, because I think that I think they're teasing Cody at some point. I've seen something. I'll try to find it, Mike. I think that he has a Charlie Sheen autograph on a Ben Roethlisberger jersey. Is what I'm seeing. I don't want to miss it, to be honest with you. But let me grab. Ty says this facts. Loyal, if most of the fan base was a GM, we'd be in shambles. Hey, Tater Tard's here.
Yeah.
Here it is. He said, yeah.
As if my day hasn't gone shitty enough.
Right here. Here it is. Cody says this. He says, I have a Ben Roethlisberger signed by Charlie Sheen.
You're going to not get Randy Jackson's autograph. It's that fucking Step Brothers going on right here.
This is Still Loyal. He says, you have a Big Ben jersey signed by Charlie Sheen. Cody said, yeah. Yeah. Tortilla says training people sucks. I see why Tomlin got vets. Tater says no Cody means Ben's got a Charlie Sheen shirt signed by Epstein. Let's go to Cody. Cody says this. He says I don't even train anyone when they show up in their green hard hat. I throw it in the oil and say, you do this and get that done later, biatch. I like it. I like it. Also, Tyrone says, I trust the gang as GM. Steel Loyal says, Darius Slade just retired. Yes. I mean, you've seen the writing on the wall. The guy didn't want to be, he had 50 reasons why he didn't want to play football. You could come play with Buffalo. Well, I don't want to. I mean, it's getting cold. Well, you could come play in the games that ain't cold. Well, I don't. He had something for everything, and I just kind of felt that Darius Slay, Mike, was on his way out of the league.
Yeah, they're hoping there was something left in the tank, and there was nothing left in that tank. That tank was going fucking dry. Very disappointing. I think he had like an interception early on, and we're like, oh hell yeah, playing in a slot, playing some smart nickel, being a heady vet. Yeah, it turned out that's all he had left.
Who the Echo now? Cody says rest in retirement. Slay MVP. Ty is saying. Steel Loyal says Echo is a sick name. Tyrone, I'd embrace it. Also, Cody says Tyrone favorite players last year was Slay and MVS. Steel said you forgot what about Jonnu Smith?
That's everyone's favorite player.
Tater says first losing season since 2003. Incoming, you will miss the. When was the last time the Browns had a
winning season?
Had more than one winning season.
Oh no, the last time we had a losing season, we got a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah,
because Cleveland wanted to take a masturbating tight end.
And the last time the Browns finished ahead of us, Mike, 1988.
So even when we have a bad year, they're worse than us.
Yeah. They're always worse.
Damn, it's almost tragic for how sad it is.
That's why we love the Browns. That's why I love having them. Even when they were gone for those 3 years and Baltimore became the Browns and still are the Browns, if you think about it, it's a lot better when the Browns are around. It just is. It just is. Cody says Ty says this. Cody is Omar Tallman Rooney. Wee man. No, it was what was his name again? That
Peter Dinklage.
Dinklage. And he looks like a Dinklage, and I don't know why I can never remember that. He looks like he would be a Peter Dinklage.
Exactly.
Cody says, Tater, do you say this shit in your head before you type it? I don't think that he does. Steel Loyal says every snap is a high snap for Murray. Oh, sick burn, Cody. Steel Loyal says even under center. Ty says QB second round. Hell no. And that's what I'm saying. If you're doing that, I just don't understand what the move is. If you're going to bring in that quarterback, you kind of already have that guy. I guess he's going to be a second round guy, not a sixth round guy. But what does that do with Will Howard then? I mean, you drafted the guy, you let him sit around for a year, and then you're going to just go over with no. I don't know. Again, that high quarterback pick, I just don't think it's coming this year. That's just me. I think we have a couple other fish we need to fry first before we do tackle that. Probably in next year's draft with a lot of quarterback talent coming out. Cody says Browns first losing season since last year. Cody also says trade our first and TJ to move up and get Nussmeier to LSU. Tater says Brady Cook is interesting con. It says on ESPN. Brady Cook is interesting con. It says on ESPN.
Yeah, the backup quarterback for the Jets who threw 2 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Okay.
Let's see, Ty. This is probably somebody they think looks good in Cleveland is what I'm taking it. We got to get this guy. Tyrone says a blind and deaf man. He can better GM than Cody. Let's go right here to Ty says who? Steel Loyal says Tater watched the bootleg version of ESPN.
You got the public access ESPN.
Yeah. Tater says Brady Cook would be an upgrade from Grandpa, in my opinion. Steel Loyal says Browns fans' opinions on quarterbacks never amaze me. And you know one thing about Cleveland sports fans just in general, you know how dumb they are? And I mean, obviously the Tater situation here, but Derpy was arguing with Mike last night on the group chat that we have here, going on about how the Cleveland Indians are so good and the Pittsburgh Pirates haven't done anything. When was the last time they did it? So I decided to look and see how well the Cleveland Indians – Mike, he said that he was going on since the Pirates hasn't played. Hasn't won a World Series in quite some time, right?
Yeah.
The last time the Indians won a World Series was 1948.
Yeah. Like World War II just wrapped up a few years ago. We were rebuilding the economy and the infrastructure.
It was our last World Series win was 79, 80.
Yeah.
This was 1948.
Yeah, because he was saying, "Oh, Paul Skeens is a bust. He's a bum."
He said Paul Skeens is a bust
because he gave up a home run. I'm like, yeah, the guy who won, rookie year, then Cy Young in back-to-back years. Oh, he sucks in big pressure games. Like a made-up tournament where Team Italy is made up with a bunch of Americans who have Italian last names who couldn't make the main roster. Like he won the College World Series, Derpy. Well, when was the last time the Pirates won anything? Like, when's the last time the Indians did anything?
1948's the answer, and we won.
No, because my reply was, "When's the last time the Indians won a World Series?" And he, without addressing it, just moved the goalpost like a typical Browns fan.
Yeah, that's what he did.
When they win a playoff game, that wasn't the argument.
Yeah. Let's go to Tyrone. He says, any QB upgrades? Then you're still loyal, says y'all really don't know shit. And that's and again, it's all Cleveland fans. It's all Cleveland fans. They just don't know any better. Let's scoot on here to Cody. He says we should draft another pass rusher first round this year. Still loyal. Yeah, Cody. Let's go to another Cody. Cody's comments are always fun. Maybe we'll get a defensive tackle or an offensive line again for the 5th year in a row. Hope we don't trade up for another Roderick Jones. That's such the killer, Mike, because he was the starting piece of all this.
Yeah.
Let's build the lines first and work our way out. And the fact that he's still tripping over his own balls and trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do with him.
Right.
That hurt. That one hurt.
That one hurt right there. But luckily we hit a lot of other pieces in that draft too to make up for it.
Let's go to Steel Loyal. He says, new Steelers safety, Jaquan Brisker on being back in New York. It feels amazing just going through the tunnels, seeing that water. I get the chills.
Best reveal of a city anywhere in the world.
Tater says, Howard will throw more interceptions than touchdowns. You mean like your quarterback did?
You're going to say like all your quarterbacks?
Oh, you know what? He became a Pro Bowler. Maybe our guy will be in the Pro Bowl next year because
maybe our guy will get the all Pro this year.
Because their guy, Mike, had 7 touchdowns and 10 or 11 interceptions and was a Pro Bowler. So, if he was a Pro Bowler, let's check out the 4.
So the Browns quarterback room combined for 16 touchdowns and 18 interceptions.
Yeah, and the grandpa beat that out.
And the one who had the best touchdown to interception ratio was Dylan Gabriel,
and he's the one they yanked. Surprise. Let's see. Cody says there should be a sign on Pittsburgh draft board that says pick the boringest people first.
No, I want the hotheads that have so much talent but can't stay on the field. That's the way to go.
Ty says A-Rod. Steel Loyal says Howard greater than Shaduki says let's go to Jamal. He says, oh shit, Tortilla got paid. Drinks on him.
Hell yeah.
Let's go to Steel Loyal. He says A-Rod is better than any option the Browns have. Again, he threw more touchdowns than all their quarterbacks combined. So even Grandpa beat out the entire Cleveland Brown quarterback room. And I don't even know why we continue to argue.
Because it's fun. It's fun arguing with Tater.
And the thing that bothers me about him, I don't know if he grasps what's said. You know what I mean? It's almost like he's being a troll, but he doesn't know any better either.
So are you worried that we're picking on like a special needs person?
Maybe. Like, remember we were worried about Derpy because he's kind of, whatever he is. It kind of falls in that same category. I don't know. Robert says in 2004, the Raiders needed a quarterback. Robert Gallery was a bust as a tackle, but ended up being a quality guard. The Browns took Kellen Winslow Jr. The Steelers got Big Ben.
Like when the Browns took Winslow Jr., I laughed so hard. I'm like, you have the quarterback that everyone was saying had like the most potential to be a star. He was from Findlay, Ohio, went to Miami University. Where we need a quarterback. Let's go get the masturbator.
Yeah,
I love it.
Tyrone says, I'm so happy Pittman's here. I am too. I am too, Mike. We wondered who the hell the guy was going to be. Was it going to be Dobbs? Was it going to be Brian Thomas? Is it going to be I like Michael Pittman Jr. I'm excited about this.
Me too. I'm loving it, man. Loving it.
Let's go. Tortilla says, gang. Mark Malone, we've got some absolute brutes. You're right. The basketball lineup is still loyal, saying on the next text. Such a big group of guys. Yeah. And again, now we're starting to build an identity.
This is why we maybe should have signed Kyler Murray. He could see those guys.
Right. Tater says this. I just checked my betting account. Piss Puker is 151 to win the Super Bowl. You crack me up. How's them Browns?
Yeah, what's the Browns looking like?
Where's the Browns? Bully ball still absolutely. And to win in the AFC North, you have to be able to play bully ball.
You got to play like that.
You got to be able to beat, put up with the big fights with Baltimore, run with the Bengals, and then you pretty much you win the AFC North. But you got to be tough. You got to be tough. You got to be able to bully. You got to be able to bruise. You got to, that's AFC North football. Steel Loyal says, might as well buy a Steeler jersey, Tater. Mark Malone, I think it's going to be Cooper and Concepcion. John Steeler Freak says this. Tater made Lindsey go into witness protection program. Unfortunately, I think that's true. We haven't seen Lindsey since Tater Todd has been here. I don't like that.
I know. Ever since he said he was going to come sniff her feet and lick her toes and drink milk out of her shoes or something. It was weird.
Darth Tater. The Master Tater. John's calling him Tater the salad tosser. Tater really goes to Aliquippa.
They kick his ass. They take him back. We will accept foreign exchange students, but not this one.
Yeah, it's a little too tough of an environment. I wouldn't send Tater there. I wouldn't even send Tater there. That's all I'm going to say.
I would. I'd sit back and watch.
The Steel Freak Tortilla says Tater really goes to Quip. Let's go to Steel Loyal says 4 years after D-Day.
Yeah, that's like those records. That World Series shouldn't count.
Yeah,
all the guys are coming back with PTSD. No one could play baseball at that rate.
Or maybe everyone had PTSD and they didn't even realize that
they just canceled it out.
Yeah, they realized that the Indians didn't even win. They didn't even realize that. Yeah. They just think that that's what happened.
Yeah.
Derpy will be in this week. Ty says, where's Derpy at? Also, Mike, I do know that RB will be in tomorrow to start off the show. I'd like to get Shop as well. We're just finishing some final things with that, Mike, to get both of the new draft crew on tomorrow would be fantastic, but we do know RB will be here for sure. Derpy a little bit later in the week. Let's go to Steeler Freak where he says tater salad tosser is better. Tater salad tosser is better.
I like it.
Ty Mrs. Finch, Randy Wagner says build our team first. We will get our quarterback in time. And I think ultimately that's what's going on and probably the best policy.
That's my big thing right there. Build the team. If you build it, they will come.
That's what they say. Also, Robert said, I remember seeing a report a few years ago that showed the high school graduation rate of Cleveland's public schools was only 18%. I don't doubt it. Steel Loyal says, got to involve Tater. He'll feel left out. Tortilla says, in Cleveland, it's legal to bully tater tarts.
Oh, then we're good then.
We are good. Mark Malone says, I'm talking Dowdle Warren too, those bastards. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're not 6'10", but they are two bruisers. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing that play out. Tater says the draft is all lucky. Why did you not draft Marino, Elway, Kelly in the draft when you or shit in the 80s? Bro, you do realize that we won a bunch of championships and you've won nothing ever, right?
Yeah. They draft Marino because apparently, like, he was a cokehead in college. And like, oh, we don't want to be involved with that. And it turned out it was a lie. Teams were spreading disinformation to get him. And we were never in position to draft any of those other quarterbacks, I believe.
And you do realize that Dan Marino and Jim Kelly and a lot of these guys are actually from right here anyways. So Cleveland still having nothing, never will have nothing, Mike. You know what? The Kelsey brothers, they're from Cleveland Heights. So
You got that going for you.
Got that going for you.
And neither of them played in Cleveland.
Yeah, imagine that. Tortilla says, why did you pay Watts? Yeah, you're right. You're talking about our quarterback positions. You're still paying quarterbacks that aren't even in the league anymore, I think.
They're still paying Joe Flacco $6 million.
See, that's the kind of retardism I'm talking about with Tater Tard. He just don't. There's something where he just doesn't understand things. Michael Pittman sounds genuine in his excitement for becoming a Steeler. Randy, I couldn't agree more. Tortilla says unlucky too, I guess. Ty says I don't know the email stuff, but I'd love to come on too. Somber says if she grows it, he will come. Tyrone says we'll figure something out. Also, Tyrone says Lindsay said she's fine, doesn't take dirty couch offers. Laugh my ass off. Gotta feel bad for Lindsay. Robert said Marino was the 6th quarterback taken in that 83 draft with the 23rd overall pick. And Yinzer Joe says this Steelers were the 21st pick in 83. Never had a chance to get those top QBs targeted. So there you go. But again, like talking to a wall, he's not going to understand what you mean, guys. Just smile and nod.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Just tomorrow against St. Patrick's Day, Mike, I have some special things in mind for the Tard. If he does show up tomorrow, I have some stuff planned. So again, hopefully we see the Tater Tard. He said you can even have gotten Ken O'Brien. There you go.
Oh yeah, there we go, Ken O'Brien. He's just pulling up old drafts. I love it. I don't know. The Steelers had the greatest draft class of all time, so they're allowed to every once in a while miss.
Yeah.
Whereas the Browns consistently miss year after year after year after year.
You know what? Even in this century, is as modern as we are, and past the the days of old, the Browns still managed to go 0-16 in this day and age, when it's just unbelievable to see any professional sports teams that field professional athletes that get paid millions of dollars was never managed to not get one single win throughout the course of a whole entire season. Is something that is very, very rare in pro sports, Mike. And again, I think those kind of things keep Cleveland at that top tier of what they are.
The Steelers have not picked first since 1970 when they drafted Terry Bradshaw.
Yes, that was their last number 1 overall pick, 1970.
How many times in the last 15 years have the Browns picked first?
Like 17. Like 17 times in the last 15 years, how many times they picked the number 1 overall. And you know what? None of the quarterbacks work. But anyway, I don't want to sit around and talk about the Browns all day long. I feel like I'm feeling nauseous just talking about them as we are. A few more things, Mike, and we're kind of at that point of the show. Do you know what the salary cap update is at the moment for the Steelers, Mike, after this free agency frenzy last week?
Yeah. Spot Track, it's one of the sites I use. They have the Steelers, I believe, at $27 million. Yeah, $27 million, and over the cap has the Steelers at around $24 million. So we're in that range, and it doesn't have at $22 million, excuse me, an average of $24 million in cap space. Neither of those sites have the updated contracts for Brisker, Day, and Dwaddle, I believe. So we're probably sitting around $19 million in cap space, and there's still contracts that can be renegotiated or restructured to free up more cap space. So we're sitting in a really good cap space right now. We're sitting 17th overall in cap space. Like I said, we can restructure some contracts and free up even more money. So they are sitting in a good spot. Maybe the next moves might be extending some guys, restructuring some guys too. So man, sitting pretty.
Yeah, I think, again, things are good. Tater says this, Mike. He says the 0-16 parade was awesome. I'm told. He thinks this is what this is. I got it. I figured out what's going on. He thinks that it's like golf, and if you have the lower amount, that means you're better than what you are.
I think so. And real quick, to circle back to the Steelers, have only had one first overall draft pick since 1970. Since 1999, the Browns have picked 4 of them.
I would have thought it was more.
Me too.
Let's grab a couple messages here. I'm going to say, yeah, right here. Tortilla didn't need him. We was giving you the time to, we was giving you the chance to catch up. We've only won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. We were kind of, don't worry about what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it was 5. I forgot about Bernie Kosar.
We're fine. Steel Loyal says, how many quarterbacks Brown's going to draft this year? That's the question. That's the question. Also, 27 million, Tortilla says. Yinzer Joe says, Tard talking about the Steelers' quarterback problems when Cleveland is in quarterback purgatory. They've been that way for a quarter of a century and more. It literally goes back to Bernie Kosar in the late 80s. In 1 year, Baker Mayfield and the team was too stupid to keep him. Truly incredible what goes on up there. You got to see what's going on with this team. Rudy paid these MFers in bathroom time. Tam Omar been cooking, is what Steel Loyal saying. Also, Tyrone says, we're doing good, Omar. Tyrone, Randy Wagner says this, we need that special type of draft like we had in 1974. Let's go Steelers. I couldn't agree more.
Exactly. And Tater, this is what a real NFL draft looks like. Round 1, Lynn Swan. Round 2, Jack Lambert. Round 4, Stallworth. Round 5, Mike Webster. And free agent Donnie Shell. All 5 of those players end up in the Hall of Fame. That is what you do with an NFL draft.
Tortilla says 18 holes is supposed to be a game. Tater, not your roster. So there you go. Again, guys, tomorrow RB will be in the house. Again, I'm hoping Chop could be as well. It'd be nice to get both of those guys as we are kicking. We're in a transition, Mike, as we're still in free agency, but we're starting that countdown officially, Mike. 38 days from right now, the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania will be taking place. So again, I'm very excited to get the guys here. I'm ready to hear what they got to say about the draft. I'm ready to hear what they got to say about their projections, who they think, what's coming. And if you want to do the same, do go check out the website. A lot of things going on over there, Mike. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
So head on over to the2dumyinzers.com. Like I mentioned earlier, I do have an article up there about our free agent haul minus Day, because I forgot about him when I was wrapping it up. It happened as I was finishing up the article. Check out 2 over there. We also have all of our social media links over under the NFL draft tab. Check that out. RB's in the one group chat put up a mock draft. I threw that up there. I also have put up 2 of my mock drafts today for Mock Draft Monday, taking a look at some different positions. So check it out at the2dumyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. A lot of good stuff. Mike's put a lot of work in over there. Mike does get his mock drafts up. Also, the new articles by Chop and RB over at the website. Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. I guess it's no better time than any. Hold on. Let me grab. I just want to see something here real quick.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a couple messages I want to grab before we do get to that point. Brisker's wearing number 3, as what Steel Loyal is saying. We did get that information. Also, Dowdle, 13. Jamel Dean is going to stick with 35. And Michael Pittman Jr. will be sticking with number 11. I'm a big fan of the 13. I like that, Mike. Again, we missed out on a big 13, as was mentioned on the board here just a moment ago. Rico Dowdle will be wearing the unlucky 13.
Unlucky. Hopefully, it's lucky for him and us.
Absolutely. Let's go to TC. What's up? Always great seeing TC. Afternoon, everyone. Too bad the players today are not like those players. Too much focus on money instead of character. My man, TC, I'm just glad to see you. Hope everything's going well for you down in Aliquippa, my friend, and keep it going, bro. Great seeing you, TC. Of course, my Aliquippa neighbor. Lightning Rod, he says this, Mike, does Raccoon City have a college or a high school football team? Raccoon City here? I mean, there's a town called Raccoon.
I know Raccoon City is the city from Resident Evil video games. Yeah.
Maybe that's what he's referring to.
Could be.
Christophus, what's up? Always great seeing Christophus. He says this, Omar Khan said that he wants an AFC North quarterback. That clearly means that we are going to draft Drew Aller in the later rounds.
Oh,
Why don't we get JJ McCarthy too? We'll get all these losers from the Big Ten and have them all compete to be so you could be the best quarterback. They could be our starter, like Drew Aller, JJ McCarthy, Will Howard. Certainly all blowing the roof off this thing, and nice competition between them three ought to be a lot of fun, huh?
No Drew Eller. I love you, Christopher, but no Drew Eller. You know, I don't know how Penn State fans were able to watch him. Me as an Indian Hoosier fan, I got to see Mendoza play a lot, so.
Steeler Freak says this. John says Tater reminds me of the Burger King hash browns. I find them between my car seats when I vacuum.
Oh shit!
Good. I'm glad to hear that, TC, my man. Okay, Lightning Rod says, yeah, from Resident Evil. Gotcha. And TC was also correct by saying Raccoon Township, which is close to Aliquippa, as a matter of fact. Somber says, these kids in their video games. Somber. Also, Jamal, LOL. At TC, my man, always. Mark Malone, Beck, Jamal. Jamal says, ain't you a Penn State guy, VT?
No, man, I've always been an Indiana Hoosier fan. Just born and bred, baby.
Christopher, I'm sorry, Christopher one's Carson Beck.
Oh God! Oh no, there's two of them now. No. Christopher and Mark Malone with their Carson Beck.
Yeah, that's right. Lightning Rod said, "Wow, I didn't know there was a raccoon." Yeah, it's actually very, very close to us, as a matter of fact. But that is true. I didn't know that. Jamal says, guys, let's do Mike. It's time to get into this trivia question of the day, and it's right along the line of some things we've been talking about. So I put on your thinking cap, everybody. Put on your thinking cap, Mike. This is the question of the day. It is in regards to the 1974 draft. There you go, guys. It all comes together here on the Two Dum Yinzers show. This is no different. This is the question of the day. Here we go. The most draft picks the Steelers ever had in a draft was in the 1974 draft. How many picks did the Steelers have that year? Of course, we know that there was a lot of Hall of Famers, great players, but the question of the day, that great 1974 Steeler draft, how many draft picks did the Steelers have in that draft? Take a minute to think it over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. right here on the Tube. Lightning Rod is saying 7. They had 7 picks is what he is saying. Let me grab just a couple of these messages here while Mike thinks this over. Dude says the true competition for quarterback between 3 if there's no Rodgers. Let's go to Jamal says this. Laugh my ass off. That's why I'm through. Got me looking crazy over here. Laugh my ass off. Dude says 10. He said they had 10 draft picks in 1974. Christopher is saying 13 picks in 1974's draft. Jamal says this. He's saying 12. Jamal says what I thought. LOL. Don't know what the last sentence was. It happens, man. 13 sounds right, Mike. Lightning Rod is saying they had 13 picks. TC is saying 5 picks that year. 12, 13, 34 is staying on the board. It's all good, man. Tater says, who would name a town raccoon? You do. Hey, listen. You guys have leprechauns and shit. Don't even give me that. 69. John says 69. Mike, what's your thought process? The question one more time is this: the most draft picks ever by the Steelers in a draft was in the famous 1974 draft. How many picks did the Steelers have?
If I remember back then, the draft was 12 rounds. So I'm gonna go with. I don't think we had a third. You know what? I'm going to go with 10. 10 sounds a good one.
10. Is that going to be your final answer?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to make sure we get you locked in on that, Mike. I don't want you to miss out. All right. You're locked in with 10. Question of the day, guys. If you have a guess or you think throw it up there. Question of the day. The most draft picks the Steelers ever had was in that famous 1974 draft. How many picks did they have? Mike says 10. Steeler Freak, 69. Tortilla, 34. Let's check out the 13 lightning rod. Jamal says 12. Lightning rod says 7 possibly. A bunch of different guesses in this one, guys. Again, how many draft picks in 1974 for the Pittsburgh Steelers? It was the most ever by the Steelers in a draft. We need to know the amount. Mike is saying 10. A lot of different answers on the board. Somber saying Northern Ireland has a town called Craigadick. I don't want to hear about Raccoon anymore, Tater. Because you probably live in Craigadick.
And there's a Carrick Fergus. I'm like, what kind of names are these?
That's what I'm saying.
I did the same thing, Somber. I went to look up Northern Ireland names.
TC says less than 15. Randy says 14. Guys, one more time, I'm going to read the question, and then we will get to the answer. The most draft picks the Steelers ever had was in their famous 1974 draft. How many Steeler picks? And there's an array of different answers on the board. Mike says 10 draft picks again. 29. I'm sorry. What do we have now? 12 draft picks this year. The Steelers lead the way. Guys, the most picks the Steelers ever had in an NFL draft. 1974 was the year. The answer, 17.
Wow.
17 draft picks in the 1974 draft. No wonder we ended up having such a nice class, Mike. We drafted the whole entire every university apparently in the country.
Well, when you hit on your picks in rounds 1 through 5, you did all right.
Yeah. You just kind of get that after that. You're just, once you get what you want, and then everything kind of comes after that. There could have been 45 picks as long as we got them guys that we wanted there at the beginning and, made one of the best drafts ever in the history of the NFL. Maybe we were happy with that. And
there was 12 guys drafted that did not even play.
Wow. And the rest of them ended up being Hall of Famers.
And one of them was an undrafted rookie free agent. That is, wow. Round 17 it went to.
Round 17.
So guys, we started off with Lynn Swan. We ended it with Larry Moore.
Let me just grab this one more. Lightning Rod says this. He says, at Tater, discover Raccoon City nestled in the Arclay Mountain region. Raccoon City offers something for everyone. Enjoy the world-class hiking trails, pristine forests, and breathtaking mountain views.
Dude, the first 3 picks in that draft all went in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And TC is saying this. Mikey says, out of 17, only 5 were great. But you know what? That's a pretty 5 is a pretty good high number. So you see what I'm saying? Like, it just because the overall number was bigger, it allowed us to get a large number of Hall of Famers ultimately. 17 damn picks. Jeez.
That's insane. Like, even like the guy who broke the Hall of Fame streak still played for like 6-7 years in the NFL.
John's saying this, Mike. He's saying that even the Browns can't F up 17 picks, and I
challenge accepted.
I dispute that. Yeah, I would argue that. But there you go. Lightning Rod says, I keep watching zombie movies, waiting for the draft. Well, you ain't got too much longer, Lightning Rod. Just 38 days from right now, the NFL draft is going on. It's going down today, of course. The day before St. Patty's Day. Big day for Tater Tard tomorrow. If he shows up, I have something a little special for him. So that all coming tomorrow. A lot of things going on, Mike. Again, free agency, it doesn't stop. Last week was the frenzy. This week, you're starting to see it trickle down, but that doesn't mean that moves are going to stop. Again, depth is always something that the Steelers can work on. We know they we've been seeing depth moves. So be keeping an eye on that. Also, the left-hand side of that line, guys, left guard, left tackle, wide receiver, I think, are the three moves. If those 3 don't happen in these next 38 days, Mike, I look for those first 2 rounds to be occupado by offensive linemen and probably a wide receiver. Beyond that, you need more offensive line and some defensive line help. So I don't think that it's going to be any surprise, Mike, that the draft is going to be a lot of depth and then trying to take care of those main holes for right now.
Oh yeah, exactly. That should be their philosophy going in. If walk out of there with 2 wide receivers, I'm going to be happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Grab a couple more here. Funny, all those years and Quips only have. I know it should be more, and you know what? It probably should be more. Sean Gilbert had a very good career as well. And of course, Tony Dorsett, just because of his address, didn't qualify as somebody to go to Aliquippa and have that title as well. Could have been 5 people easily off the top, I think. TC. Somber says, I need to apply to be an editor for the Steelers YouTube page. They just uploaded a 52-minute video that doesn't start until the 32-minute mark.
You know who that reminds me of?
Who's that?
Derpy.
Yeah.
So go look at some of Derpy's original stuff that he would put out there. And that was my brain short-circuited. I'm sorry.
Original stuff. Have you seen anything lately? He put something up and there's like this show will be starting at 6:30.
And then he's never on.
And it's like 8 o'clock. And all of a sudden he just randomly pops on. And there's no rhyme or reason to what he does. He's moving. He's looking at himself. He's disappearing out of the frame. It's like, what are you doing, man?
Maybe he is the secret editor for the Steelers YouTube channel. And maybe that's why Derpy's never around. He got a new job and did not tell anyone.
Let's go to Randy. Randy says, and it all capped off with undrafted Donnie Shell, 1974. Also, Tortilla says The Walking Dead is loosely based on getting drafted to Cleveland. Let's go to Lightning Rod. I love the fear of The Walking Dead. Also, Somber says this. I need to. Oh, you got that? Agree, brother. TC, my man with the Aliquippa Hall of Famers, of course. What else, Mike? We do have a couple things we want to go over today. So much going on with the NFL, Mike, in just 38 days is the draft. It drives some to drink, maybe, with everything that's going on. And if you do decide that you are going to have some beverages to take the edge off, you might as well stop and get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner, guys. Now available in 6 and 12 packs at Giant Eagle and in cases wherever it is sold. Mike, the people at Duquesne Pilsner certainly go out of their way when it comes to promoting and involving us, and we couldn't be any more thankful. So show them some love back. And maybe if you don't even drink, swing by some of their social media, hit the follow, hit the like, show them some love. They certainly deserve it, Mike, as this beer is delicious. We always have it on tap here in the studio. And it says right on the can, Mike, it says grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
What else do we got? We do have, I want to say this. Go check out our social media. Keep up with what the two Dum Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. You can go to any of our social media to do just that. You could go to Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok. You can keep up with what's going on with us day to day. And if you haven't yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, the sub, the share, even the comment. Any of it helps on the algorithm. We appreciate it all. Thank you so much. I'm gonna grab a couple more here. I'm gonna see where John says Derpy knows how to engagement form. Mike, why don't you what's your take, Mike? Again, we are in that transition period, heavy free agency, starting to work into a realistic countdown to the draft. Again, 38 days. It was 50 days. It was 60 days. It was 75 days. I'm like, we are in 38 days going to be down at the draft. In this week right here for what it is, going from free agency, still in the free agency, but really starting to see that draft coming up on the horizon. Mike, what's your feelings on all that as we are here in mid-March, only a little over a month away from?
Yeah, personally, I can't wait to get down there to the draft. It's gonna be fun. A couple of the guys from the border are coming up. Be nice to put some faces to some names, and hopefully that the Steelers can put some names to some of these keys holes in the lineup leading up to the draft, plug some holes. I have a feeling outside free agency might slow down a little bit, and we're going to see some restructuring and some key contract extensions. I hope they don't wait until like the week before camp starts to try and get some of these contracts banged out for Porter and Herbig and who else needs one? Washington, and figure out what they're going to do with Keanu Benton. So get that stuff settled down so you know what you're looking at going into the draft. So you know where your future is on these cats. Get that shit banged out before the draft and have a stellar draft. The things are setting up to where this team, man, if they hit the draft and these free agents hit and the new coaching staff works out the way you think it is, you could shorten your window from being how long it's going to take you to be a contender. For not like a Super Bowl contender, but for being a legit contender for the division and causing real damage in the playoffs and maybe competing for an AFC title.
I think I agree. A couple of things I'm seeing, Mike, on the board here. It's kind of it's interesting. Randy Wagner says, "I'm proud to say that my dad drove Tony Dorsett on the bus and worked with his dad at J&L Aliquippa Steel. And you know what? The steel mill community was very, very tight. And certainly a lot of the people that are still around. My family certainly falls into that category as well. That's really cool. Really cool, Randy Wagner. I'm sorry about that. As Lightning Rod says as well, wow, Randy Wagner, that is awesome, man. Christopher says, "This man up, fellas, drink black and tan. It will put hair on your chest." Also, John says, I'm sorry, yes, John says 6 Dukes and you could do Derpy. There you go, 6 Dukes and you could do Derpy. Great beer. I couldn't agree more. Lightning Rod. Also, Lightning Rod says this: these NFL mock draft simulators are awesome. Do keep up. Again, Mike does put up his mock draft. Mike, it's every Monday, but are you gonna increase the amount now that it's getting closer?
I might do like one Monday, one Wednesday, midweek. And like going forward, though, they're going to be different scenarios. Like, hey, this mock draft, I have to trade up and get this type of player. I have to do this in here. Different scenarios that tend to pop up during the actual NFL draft. So some things like that.
I like it. I like it. Do keep your eye on that, guys. And as I said, again, our draft crew, very, very into the details of the players and the everything going on, Mike. I cannot wait again to talk to RB tomorrow. Hopefully Chop could be in as well. That'd be great if both of them gentlemen come in tomorrow. And then again, Derpy will be in later on in the week, guys. A lot of cool things, again, as this is the transition period, basically, between the free agency frenzy and the official starting of the countdown, Mike, of the draft. 38 days from now, the NFL draft will be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I can't wait. It's going to be a blast.
Steeler Freak John says, "I'm waiting for the AI Rogers' wife to start doing interviews."
Mm-hmm.
This is turning into one of that Manti Te'o situation with wasn't his girlfriend fake or something?
Yeah, he was being catfished.
Yeah. I hope Aaron Rodgers is being catfished. That'd be great. That'd be great. Christmas says, "You guys going to be live during the draft?" We're going to be down at the draft. It's interesting. That's a good question. If we're going to be doing live, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will be doing something. So we're still working on the plans for that. Again, 38 days. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, I plan on us somehow being live for the draft.
Something, to some capacity for sure.
Because we were last year, and I want to carry that goad forward.
Oh, we did, huh? We went long last year.
Yeah, it was like me and Derpy. With Derpy falling asleep on me, Derpy crashing out.
That's right. Cody says, "This Derpy Sunday football show was a song for an hour and no one." That's what I'm saying.
I got this banger from last draft. Well, let's see if I can get it. Oh, I figures the system messes up because that's to deal with Derpy. It ain't working. Never mind.
What was it?
The "I hate everything."
Yeah, classic.
I hate everything.
There it is.
There it is.
When we picked Derek Harmon, I hate everything.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, he was getting all the picks before they would come on. I'm like, Derpy, don't ruin it for everyone. And he just freaked the fuck out.
John said he's a modern day Kramer. I do want to say to everybody, thank you for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. Lightning Rod says, "Who's Derpy?"
I don't have any of the pictures available. Otherwise, I would throw up some of those pictures. But
Derpy.
And Lightning Rod, you would throw up too, believe me.
Yes. Yes.
Derpy is, I don't know. I guess he's the seventh wheel now.
Yeah, that's what it's looking right now. He's like the he's the fry wedged in between the seats in the back of the truck that the kids have thrown back there 4 years later.
Derpy's been with us for a couple of years. But the fact that you've been here as many times as you have and you're still asking who's Derpy, that speaks volume about Derpy.
Yes.
So we will see. He's supposed to be here later in the week, guys. That is the plan. Anyway, what else, Mike, before we do wrap things up?
A little something that just came across the wire. The NFL does like their performance-based pay increases. Peyton Wilson, he's getting a extra cool $1.1 million based on playing time and performance bonuses awarded by the NFL. That does not count against the salary cap. Just a nice little bonus for him. So he was the only Steeler to make the top 25, highest paid for performance-based bonuses.
That's the best answer that I could have possibly given you. Tortilla gives it right there. He's the mascot. He is the two Dum Yinzer. He is the dumb.
He definitely puts the dumb in our name.
Besides for that, though, guys, we're going to be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. We'll certainly be keeping our eye on everything to see if anything happens between now and then. Maybe a left guard, maybe a left tackle. Who knows? As anything could happen at any given time now that free agency season is here. But moving forward, though, we do only have 38 days left, like 38 days to the NFL draft. It's going to be huge. Again, if you're coming into town, do make sure to get in. You could go on and get your free registration so you're not dealing with things at the last moment as you're here because, again, almost 1 million people, guys, they're expecting down on the point and on the North Shore. It's going to be very, 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 very packed. So make sure anything like that you might want to take care of before you head to town because here's the thing. If you end up standing in a line for something, there's going to be a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not get to see the things you want to get because you're standing in line because maybe you didn't do all that beforehand. So just throwing it out there, guys, especially if you're coming to town because you're doing all that traveling anyway, get your free registration in before you come. Maybe that will help you out a little bit. Let me say a couple more things here as we do get ready to wrap things up. Somber is 5/8. 5/8 of the two Dum Yinzers, LOL. From Somber, Randy, Mike, and Ryan, we thank you for doing what you do. Yeah, we appreciate you, Randy, as well, my friend.
Yep.
Great having you on the terrible board and great meeting you as well, sir. Again, we do this all year round. It doesn't stop. The whole year around, always Steelers. And every once in a while, we'll throw in some Pirates, Penguins, and things like that. But, Mike, the Penguins are back in action tonight. They do play the Avalanche. That's a 9:30 game. Pirates are late in their game right now against the Twins. And, again, Mike, also those Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they are entering the tournament in soccer. That starts tomorrow. So a lot of things going on as we do wait for our Steelers to make some draft picks, Mike, again, in just 38 days right here in Pittsburgh.
I cannot wait for the draft.
I think that's going to be everything, Mike. We're going to wrap things up. We hope to see everybody tomorrow. We'll be back at our regular time to do it all over again. I want to say thank you so much. You guys were awesome. I do want to say where I was going with this. I do want to say, Mike, I want to thank everybody on the board. You guys are always awesome. Always keep the show interesting. You are the lifeblood of the show. Thank you. And everybody else also at home, listening in the car, maybe the gym, at work, wherever you may be. Thank you too, guys. You are the reason this thing keeps going on. Thank you so much. We couldn't thank you enough. Again, we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time. Mike, anything before we wrap it up for the day?
I can't wait to do this again tomorrow. This is fun. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Tater.
All right. Somber says, take it easy, gents. Well, thank you, sir. You take it easy as well. Tater, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. If we do see you, I do have some things planned for you as well, all the way from across the pond, Tater Tard. But, guys, that is going to be it for us for today. And the two Dum Yinzers, Tater says, get drunk, and if you don't mind, pinch someone. Pinch somebody.
Punch someone. He's saying punch.
Punch somebody.
I see. Okay, now Tater's trying to win himself back over to get in our good graces. I like the way you're thinking now, Tater.
All right, so that will be tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. Again, enjoy the nice weather, Mike. It's going to be dropping a little bit after today, but today should still be decent as well. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. Have a good day. If you watch wrestling, we'll enjoy wrestling tonight. Penguins also on 9 o'clock tonight, guys. Do check that out against the Avalanche. For the two Dum Yinzers, for Derpy, for Finch, for RB, Chop, Mike, myself, and the show. Everybody have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.